So I've been hearing people recently say, why the David Benavidez and Morrell fight doesn't have more promotion behind it right now. The reason being is because most boxing fans don't really respect the work that's already been put in when it comes to Benavidez specifically. Even going into this fight, he's not getting the respect he deserves for even doing what he's doing now. You know, Benavidez could have been doing the same thing that Munguia or Berlanga's been doing, fighting some guys you never heard of or seen before, and or some guys from Europe like Bruno or Patrick McCory, guys like that. But he's fighting Dave Morrell, you know what I'm saying? And people are like, why is there not so much promotion behind the fight? Because y'all worried about what these guys ain't doing. That's why it's not too much promotion behind it right now, because people are looking at this fight as, instead of enjoyment and entertainment, they looking at it as a revenge thing. Like, well, let's get some get back for Canelo. Right now, and I'm truthful about everything. I don't do like everybody else do. I know how to walk and chew gum. But going into this fight, a lot of people want to find the reason why David Benavidez is not qualified, or he's not that good of a fighter in their eyes. You know, that's a personal thing or personal preference. But when you try to say he's not a good fighter or he's trash and everything else, like right now, I don't even know guaranteed that Benavidez is go out there and stop Morrell. He has a very good chance, very very good chance. But do I know that he's gonna go out there and stop him? Guaranteed? No. After watching Morrell's last performance, can I see him going out there possibly outboxing Benavidez? Yeah, he has the talent to do it. Absolutely, he has the talent to do it. I'm not finna downplay him. But right now, I'm seeing people say guaranteed, and I'm just trying to figure out, if anybody knows in the comments, let me know. What fight can I watch right now that'll show me everything I need to see from David Morrell? It's only like 10 or 11 fights, so it won't be hard to pick from. But what fight can I look at right now where I would know that he's officially prepared to fight against David Benavidez? Because I remember a couple of months ago, and this is going to play into it, when Pacheco had fought McCallman. And I thought that Pacheco would win the fight. But I said, man, this guy McCallman is pretty good. You know what I'm saying? He's not an easy fight. Unknown guy at the time to most fans. They try to use age as a reason why the fight was as close as it was, but I just seen things going into that fight where I'm like, nah, he ain't getting stopped. Not because Pacheco isn't a very good fighter. It's just certain things you can see going into a fight. It's like, nah, he ain't getting the credit that he deserves. And that fight made Pacheco. If you seen what he did to Selecki, that fight gave him an extra gear going into that Selecki fight. If you look at what he did against McCallman, then he went against Selecki, he improved in between those fights. So can Morrell do that? Absolutely. So I'm looking at that as being a big factor. Him fighting guys who's 175 or whatever. That's going to play a huge part. That's definitely going to play a huge part. I look at that as being a huge deciding factor between the fight with these guys. But it's not a guarantee that either one is going to have a dominating performance. You know, in my eyes, I feel like it's going to be a close fight. And somebody's going to have to separate themselves. That's how I feel about the fight. I think one guy's going to have to separate himself from the other. It can't really be a fight where it's like close. They'll try to make it a draw. Especially with the scoring these days, it'll end up being a draw in some people's eyes. So I would definitely not try to mess around in that situation and let the fight be that close. But I don't think it's going to be that type of fight to where it's going to be hard to score. The way these guys fight, it's going to be obvious who is dominating. Just based off the styles. Based off the styles, it's going to be obvious. And we already know Benavidez throws a lot of punches, throws them in bunches, and he knows what to do. He has a lot of experience. He's been in the ring with a lot of fighters. So the man, he's fully prepared to do whatever he needs to win this fight. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think the biggest issue going into this fight will be just the styles clashing. You know, the inside fighting. I think the inside fighting and the jab and the stamina, it's not really take rocket science to really figure out what's going to be a factor. Inside fighting, the jab, and most of things like that. That's going to be the deciding factor of these fights. I don't think a lot of people are really expecting the stamina be an issue, but I've never seen Benavidez have issues with stamina. Have seen Morrell have issues with stamina. A lot of people want to overlook that. That's fine. But when I pick fights, or when I look at fights, it's hard for me to favor a guy who could definitely get outpunched or the stamina. And when I pick fights, I never overlook that. And most people can't really pay attention to it because they'll look at the knockouts and say, well, you know, he got a whole bunch of knockouts. Yeah, against those guys. You know, the guys that Morrell knocked out, Benavidez can knock those guys out too. That's not even going to be a problem. He'll be able to get those knockouts easy against those guys. Even the last fight with Hot Rod that Morrell had. I think people think that Volzik is the same kind of opponent as Hot Rod, but Volzik is more of an offensive fighter. So I would say if I wanted to be picky, I would say Benavidez is more prepared from the opponent he went against at 175 than Morrell. Not to say that Hot Rod wasn't a very good opponent to have. That's probably one of the best he can find as an opponent. But he's not a super offensive guy. So the way he was getting outpunched by a guy who's mostly a defensive fighter, I wouldn't say a defensive fighter, but a guy who's, how do I say it? He's not like a heavy puncher. He's not a guy who has a high punch rate. It's just not that type of fighter when you fighting Hot Rod. But with Volzik, yeah, he punches a lot, moves a lot, very slick for that weight, very good jab. I think people seen Volzik and they was like, how did Benavidez struggle with that guy? Y'all don't know who Volzik is? So that was kind of something that opened my eyes right there. I'm like, Volzik, people don't know how good he is. So they looked at him like, oh, well, Benavidez stopped him, so he's not that good. But Benavidez stopped the guy that also Morrell fought. So that doesn't really play much of a factor. And these guys had just got to 175. That was their first fight at 175. So I wasn't expecting guaranteed to get a knockout. Like, if anybody expected those guys to go to 175 and just get a knockout against a top contender, that don't make a lot of sense. for both of them, for Morrell and Benavidez. But can Morrell go out here and outbox Benavidez? We're gonna have to see. I know he's I would give him advantage on the outside, but is he gonna move or is he gonna stand in front of him? And we also have to see what his chin is like. A lot of people have, I see some guys catch Morrell on the chin. He ate the punch. He didn't really take it flush. You know, he knows how to roll punches a little bit, but it's gonna play a huge part. A very huge part. Will he be clinching in this fight? Will he just fight straight up? I think I can see Morrell in this fight clinching. Not because of damage he's taken from Benavidez, which will be a factor. He probably will do it eventually, but I'm talking about in the beginning. I think mostly he'll be able to get some shots off without having to clinch and be able to defend himself. Like early on, it is going to be a slow fight, probably for Benavidez, but I don't see him coming out the first round throwing a whole bunch of punches just off the bat. He is going to see what he's in the ring with, like he usually does. But like I said, once it gets towards that middle, it's almost like Jaws or whatever. It's going to start to turn into a very tough fight. And if you look, these guys are around the same size. I know people was talking about as far as what the way Benavidez was looking in the ring, in the promo a couple of months ago, but these guys are around the same size. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna not have an issue moving each other around and being on the attack. The reach won't be a problem. You know, this is a very tough fight, man. It's 50-50. But the reason why we can't get fully all the fans to be all in to it is because they have so much allegiance to Canelo that a lot of people are one-sided. Telling y'all right now, a lot of people are picking Morrell to win this fight just based off of the threat of Benavidez. Benavidez is such a threat to a lot of these people. They are already going toward Morrell's side. Already. They already doing it. I heard people, every comment I've seen about Benavidez has been negative. Oh, he's nervous. He's getting knocked out. When has he ever been nervous? When has he ever been knocked out? When has he ever been hurt in the fight? Like, he's been fighting legit champions over the years. And that's never happened. This man is battle tested. They're talking about Dave Benavidez like he got 10 fights. That's the kind of response I'm hearing from him. They're talking about Dave Benavidez like he has 10 fights. Which I do not understand. But Morrell is the guy who has least experience. Well, that people say, well, he got the amateur background. Yeah, he does. And like I said, he had a great performance the last fight, but it's going to play a factor when the stamina is not there. I'm telling you. It takes a while to build up stamina like that to the point where you're going to go full blast for 12 rounds. It takes years to build that up. That's why sometimes when guys come back from being out so long, they have to take 3 or 4 fights to really get in the groove. Like Vozick, he had to take like 3 fights. How many fights did Vozick had to take when he came off his layoff before he fought Benavidez? And I thought he looked excellent in that fight. He was very sharp. Let me see. Yeah, Vozick had 1, 2, 3. Yeah, he had 3 fights. He fought that September, then he ended up fighting that June. So yeah, he had 3 fights. Yep. So yeah, it takes you about 3 fights to really get back in the groove of things. And he was out 4 years since that Bitterbill fight. Got hurt in the 10th round. Yeah, so he held his own over the years against some good opponents. That was a good fight for Benavidez to get prepared with. Could have took some easier opponents, but that was a good fight for him to have. And we got and one thing I do have to remember, a lot of people said going into this fight that Benavidez was ducking Morrell. So for him to jump up and make this fight immediately, something that none of these other guys at 168 did, wasn't nobody else going out of their way at 168 to make this fight with David Morrell. Nobody. What's going on, Nathan Wild, man? So that's why I can't even say nothing about Morrell, because it's like he jumped up to make the fight with Benavidez. These are 2 guys that want to get up and fight each other. I think this fight is going to change boxing. Because this ain't something that Turkey Al-Sheikh got to get involved with. Like I said, I've been saying this for a year now. It's some boxers you don't got to ask Turkey Al-Sheikh or nobody to you get up and fight. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Who you feel like going to win this fight? You feel like Morrell, Benavidez, Pacheco, Nelson? Who you got in these fights coming up? I don't know, man. Morrell can go in here and surprise a lot of people. Well, not really surprise. A lot of people picking Morrell, so I can't say a surprise. For me, I don't know, man. Like, I'm giving him a chance to win. Am I currently picking him? No. Oh, yeah, I roll with Benavidez all day. Yeah, I've been following Benavidez for years. Years. Long time. Yeah, for years. Since like 2017, 18. Something like that. Yeah, I've been following Benavidez for years, like all the way back then. So I've seen Benavidez kind of fight through the years, and he's not really someone who's going to be wild by this fight. Haven't seen Morrell in a fight this big, but he didn't seem like he was, I don't know. He didn't seem like he was bothered in the last fight as far as fighting on the big stage or whatever, on the big card. But this is a main event, this is different. I don't think he's going to be phased, though. But one thing I do know about Benavidez, though, Benavidez loves to talk. As far as he doesn't talk trash until you talk trash. When somebody talks trash, he loves that. It gets him going. It's not like he prefers somebody to talk trash, but when you do it, it gives him extra motivation. And Morrell, I know because I know Morrell's going to be, he's talked trash over the last couple of months to get this fight or whatever, over the last couple of years. But he's not going to be talking as much leading into this fight because his talking was more so like, I'm going to get this fight. That's how I'm going to get this fight. I'm going to talk my way into this fight. And that's how he got the fight. Benavidez wasn't really looking at him as a guy. Yeah, oh, you say you need to catch up with some of the newer guys? Yeah, I'm going to do one of those lives in the morning. I'm going to do some prospects in the morning. I was going to go ahead and just talk about this fight. Just because it's such a big fight that's not really being discussed, and I don't want to wait until the week of the fight to actually talk about it. I'd rather just talk about it up until the fight actually gets here. Yeah, we trying to see some of these newer guys. Yeah, we trying to figure out who the newer fighter's gonna be. Like Pacheco. I don't know if you seen Diego Pacheco. He a beast. I think he's like 23, 24. He is a problem. The guy in the back behind Benavidez. If you never checked him out, you can definitely check him out. He's good. Yeah, he's a good fighter. I've known about him for a while now. He's really trying to get it done. Pacheco was somebody I thought was going to fight Berlanga already, but just didn't happen. But yeah, Pacheco's a good fighter. He gets it done. It's going to be a very tough fight for him. And then the guy on the other side, Steven Nelson. This is going to be one of his first big fights, big events. Big name fighter, top contender. A guy who trains with Terrence Crawford, one of his sparring partners. Very good fighters, fought on Top Rank over the years. He fought on the same card as Morrell on the Majramov and Crawford fight card. Said Larry Holmes. Man, I was thinking about Larry Holmes recently. Yeah, Larry Holmes was the man back then. Yeah, Larry Holmes was the man. When I was coming up, I thought Larry Holmes was like the heavyweight, you know what I'm saying, in my eyes, but you know, that was a different era. But back then, Larry Holmes was the guy. Yeah, Larry Holmes was the truth. I'm trying to see if this guy Nelson. I'm trying to see if Steven Nelson go out there and throw that jab like Larry Holmes. If these guys can go out there and throw that jab like Larry Holmes, they'll be good. Definitely gonna need a power jab when you go against Pacheco. It's a winnable fight, but we gotta see what Steven Nelson go out there and how he operate. But I think him and Benavidez gonna need a power jab. What's up, PD? Yeah, I like Larry Holmes. Yeah, I like Larry Holmes. Larry Holmes definitely one of those guys. Yeah, Larry Holmes was the truth. But you know, a lot of people are looking at this fight right now, and it's more. And what's weird is I know it's biased already. I know a lot of people are not gonna give straight answers when it comes to the fight. Oh, okay, that what's up, man. Appreciate that. I know they ain't gonna give a straight answer when it comes to it, but Morrell is not a guy you can really overlook just because how confident he is going into this fight with Benavidez. They're similar in a lot of ways. Size, the reach ain't that big of a difference, the height. So that's gonna be a big factor when you go into this fight. But one thing I don't trust is just the stamina. Like, that's what any fighter. If y'all look at how I picked the fights over the years, like, the easiest way to pick a fight is if you look at these guys' stamina. And I've never seen a guy with it, and it's not the experience. It's the stamina as far as I've never seen a guy with the type of stamina that Morrell has right now go out there and dominate. Could he go out there and stop Benavidez? Absolutely. But I've never seen a guy that got that type of stamina and went out there and dominated a guy like Benavidez. And he's gonna have to be on the inside. Hey, it's gonna be some times in the fight he's gonna have to be on the inside. Benavidez gonna step to him. Somebody gonna be on the ropes or close to it. If they in the center of the ring, that's gonna be even better. Not gonna be a lot of clinching. I know Benavidez is not a big clincher. I don't think Morrell is either, so it's gonna be a lot of punches thrown. But one thing I like from Benavidez is that he can throw is that uppercut. The uppercut is definitely gonna be a huge factor in this fight. But I like Morrell's countering ability. If he can go out there and counter, he's gonna have to counter. Because I don't think his punch output is gonna be at the point where, and Benavidez can counter as well, but I don't think his punch output is gonna be to the point where he could just stand there. Now, if he's punching a lot and being able to throw some punches, he can sit in the pocket a little bit, move, hang in the pocket for a little bit, then move. But if he's just throwing single shot, boom, 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 it's a lot of things that got to go right for him. This is going to have to be the first fight where he throws more punches than he ever has. He's going to have to move his head a lot. Like I said, his chin's going to be in the air. So he has to be able to, I've seen him get caught in the chin a lot of times. Not flush like Munguia, but it was still something where it's like, gotta watch out for something like that. I don't like the way he hangs his chin in the air a little bit. And Morrell's not a guy whose guard is really blocking a lot of punches. I know Benavidez has that high guard. He'll walk forward with it. So I know that's going to be a factor, but if Morrell can be able to make Benavidez put that guard up, get some punches off, punch around the guard, change angles, like I said, the stamina is going to be what's going to be the biggest factor for Morrell. If the stamina isn't there, he's not going to be able to do the things he needs to do throughout the whole fight. That's kind of what I'm looking at right now. It's just a lot of questions because he doesn't have that many fights to where I got to see him fully do everything that he can. So I know he has a lot of ability. And I think it's a close fight, to be honest with you. I'm not for sure who's going to win until I get to I'm favoring Benavidez right now. I don't know for sure, guarantee who's going to win until I get there. As far as probably after the weigh-in, I'll have a good feeling of who's going to win. But I'm leaning with Benavidez right now, just because I know for sure what he's bringing to the table. If you can go out there and outpunch a guy like Caleb Plant, like, come on now. Dude went out there and outpunched Caleb Plant. And after I seen the last fight, even though Caleb Plant had a long layoff, he wasn't throwing as many punches as he was against like a Canelo. Caleb Plant wasn't, so I wouldn't say Benavidez took something out of him, but he definitely approached that last fight differently, but the stamina played a huge part, which goes back to what I was saying about Morrell. He doesn't have a lot of fights at this weight class, so he's carrying extra weight. He said, keep your hands down only works for a few. They still get caught with good shots. Yeah, I know. That's why it was tricky when I was looking at Virgil Ortiz fights. And I didn't notice that sometimes he'll like drop his hands. And it's not like he's doing it on purpose. He'll like just do it, but still he's throwing some hard shots. And he's moving well. He still go back to the high guard. But he'll put those hands down a little bit. I haven't seen too much from Morrell doing it, but I have seen Morrell have those hands spaced out, and he'll stand there in front of a guy for like 3 or 4 seconds without throwing anything, and those punches will be wide. Like his hands will be wide, he'll be throwing some hooks. Morrell will be throwing hooks at eye level. You know what I'm saying? Like his hands will be above his shoulders. And this is against guys who's around the same weight. I've seen him throw punches like that against shorter guys. And that leaves you open. It's like everything under your hands is open. Then you have your chin hanging up. I don't like that from him, because that's kind of how Andre got caught by Benavidez. And that was one of the things I said in my prediction video with Andre. I said if he stands in front of Benavidez, he's going to get stopped. it's not gonna be a good night. And I probably said that like the first 5 minutes of the prediction video, and that's the way it went. Can't hang in front of this guy like this. And like I said, these guys don't really clinch that well. And it was just amazing how Caleb Plant was able to clinch, move with Benavidez, use the ring. I haven't seen Morrell move around that much like that, but he's athletic, just as athletic as Caleb Plant, so he can do it. But I just don't think the stamina is like a Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant's stamina played a huge part in the fights he's been in with Canelo and with Benavidez. And I'm telling you, if Morrell had the type of stamina like Caleb Plant or somebody, I would favor him in this fight, guaranteed, like for a win. He has the talent and the skill, the power. He has the stamina and the power, but he's he plays a huge part as far as in getting these guys up out of there though. Like Morrell likes the talent he has, that's what usually get these guys up out of there. From what I've seen, his talent is what get guys up out of there. He has too much talent to just sit there and trade with certain people. He'll just get a guy up out of there by his combinations, his hand speed. A lot of the stuff I've seen him do is just strictly off talent. As far as executing the game plan, that's kind of what I wanted to see the last fight. I didn't see him execute a game plan. And then I'm gonna tell you the hardest thing about going into this fight, you can't really get a fair assessment of any fighters, especially like Morrell. Like every time I discuss Morrell's last fight, people really don't know how to break down that fight. They're just going strictly off how they feel about the fighter themselves. And that kind of clouds your judgment a little bit. Definitely clouds my judgment when it comes to who I can pick and who's gonna dominate in this fight. And I don't like that going into this fight. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I was talking about the clinching. Yeah, I agree with that. What's going on? Hold on. Yeah, my bad. I don't know why my volume was low like that. My bad. Yeah, the clinching is gonna be a huge factor for Dave Morrell when he's like kind of like if he gets hurt. But I'm talking about as far as getting hurt. As far as getting out, throwing 1 or 2 punches and getting out, the stamina to do that for 12 rounds, I just don't know. Because he didn't really have a high work rate against Hot Rod. You gotta think about it. Hot Rod, let me see what the CompuBox is for Hot Rod and let me see what the stamina is for Hot Rod real quick. I'm in the CompuBox. See. There's some good stats right here to pull up. I'll pull these two up real quick. They have the company box right here. Let me see. He said, "Quit luck, bro. You the one trolling, bro. I'm not finna have you on the channel trolling. Talking about what? Finna find out who I am." Yeah, he don't want to. Shoot, he won't even fight Pacheco right now. Look at this copy box though. What's up, Mimic? He won't even fight Pacheco right now. So the total punches from Morrell, he threw 16 punches. These power punches. Let's just go to jabs. Now look at the jabs from Morrell. Everybody think I'm tripping when I'm talking about the jab and stuff. You know, everybody want to. What's up, Tommy? What's going on? You said keep Benavidez in the middle of the ring? Nah, he'll get destroyed doing that. He needs to move around. This dude created 10. Let me see. Yeah, look at the jabs on here though. He threw 3 jabs in the first round. He threw 4 jabs in the second round. Look at the jabs. He got out jabbed in the third round by Hot Rod. Look at that. Look at them jabs. That's why I'm telling you, people don't break these fights. It's my first time looking at this. It only take me one. I only watched Morrell and Hot Rod fight one time, and I watched it live with everybody on here. So this is my first time looking at the compy box. Look at Morrell got out jabbed by Hot Rod in the third round, and look, Morrell only threw 14 jabs. Come on, man. Come on now. What are we doing? It's the third round. He let Benavidez out jab him in the third round. He get knocked out. Now, mind you, look at the power punches he's throwing. These are hooks and uppercuts and things like that. But look at how he slowed down in the 4th and 5th round. I'm telling y'all, I watched the fight, man. Now, what did I say? What did I say about Benavidez? Yeah, they're not real fans, bro. And trust me, you know what's crazy? And Mimic been on this channel a long time. Mimic know how I am. I'll sit up here and go against a fighter for a whole fight, and then after he lose, I'll be the only one up here posting them like I did with Ryan Garcia. But I told everybody that he got outpunched in the 12th round. Look at the 12th round. Don't nobody talk about this. Look at the 12th round. Look at the 12th round. The man got outlanded. Well, they landed the same amount of punches, but he got outpunched. 38 punches to 42. Morrell is supposed to turn it up and get him up out of there. You only landed 9 punches in the 12th round. You only landed 7 punches in the 10th round. Oh yeah, I do that with everybody. Pitbull. Hey, Pitbull, Mimic, Rayo. A lot of these guys. Dubois. Look at the 7th round. Morrell ain't gonna be able to win this fight like that. He's only landing this many punches. That means look at all the punches. He's swinging in the air in most of these punches. And I told you he was fighting a defensive fighter. So when he fighting the guy who's going punch for punch with him, like Benavidez is gonna outpunch him. Let me close that down. So I just wanted to blow it up in case somebody had a small phone or something. But if you look at the total stats, okay, let's go to body shots. Everything like that. Body shots. Morrell threw 134 body shots. That's a good number. I like that number. That's a very good number. I like that number. He got out jabbed though. 48 jabs to 52. Not good. Yeah, Hot Rod only he only landed 5 jabs. But that's not a good number though. Yeah, his defense is definitely his punching. His defense is definitely his punching. But Morrell was going against a guy who's he's not a heavy puncher. So for him to be like, yeah, I'm gonna go, he tried to go punch for punch with Benavidez at a high rate, he gonna get caught. He tried to go punch for punch, he gonna get dropped. Cause I don't think, for sure, I don't think Vosic jab is worse than I know Vosic has a better. The guy that Benavidez fought last, his jab is better than Morrell's. Is his combinations and skills? No. Power punches? No. His ring generalship? Yeah. His defense? I don't think Morrell's defense is trash. I don't think Morrell's defense gets trash until he gets countered. I don't think his defense is trash. I'm not gonna go that far. Is he a defensive guy? No. But is the defense trash? No, I wouldn't say that. He knows when to lay off, when not to. But the body shots, I know Morrell can go to work. He needs to stick to the body with Benavidez. But the jabs is what worries. I'm telling y'all, the jabs and the stamina, that's what worries me. This dude landed what? Look at this. Look at the jabs up there. Once it got to, I'm telling y'all, the man gets tired, man. His stamina is going to be an issue. 2 jabs, 6th round, he landed. He landed 6 jabs, but he threw 26 jabs. Then he threw 2 jabs, he landed 2 jabs in the 8th round, landed 3 in the 9th round, 2. Which is pretty tough against a guy who like a Hot Rod. You know, Hot Rod came to fight that day. But it's gonna be interesting to see. And something else I seen too on the other page. Let me pull it up real quick. It's another stat they pulled up. But Morrell had, they said Hot Rod outlanded. See, that's what I was telling people. Exactly. They got it up there. Exactly. That's what I'm looking at. If Morrell hanging around, if he's hanging around in the 10th round, 12th round, he gets stopped. I'm being real with y'all. Because this right here, I don't like this. Hot Rod outlanded Morrell 31-28 over rounds 10 through 12. Ain't no way you supposed to let that man outland you 10 through 12. And you know what that means? 10 through 12, Morrell getting outlanded? Stamina. We talking about outlanded. So that means he was just swinging. It wasn't no precision punches or nothing. The instincts couldn't even kick in at that point. And a lot of people do not talk about this. It's my first time looking at this. Now, if y'all have been on live with me, I've said stuff about the jabs being outpunched and everything the last 3 rounds. I've said this probably on 50 lives. I haven't went live that many times, so I've said it on about 50 lives. And this dude went out there and got outpunched by this guy. So I know that it was a far away. Yeah, it's gonna be a good camp, PD. It's gonna be a good camp. But is he gonna be able to get 12 rounds of stamina? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Yeah, he gonna shoot. He should have brought his A game against Hot Rod. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. He should have brought his. I was waiting on his A game against Hot Rod. I'm keeping it a buck. I was looking for his A game against Hot Rod. I'm like, bro, you can't let this dude outpunch you 10 through 12. Come on now. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because I want to see another copy box Dave Morrell had. And they got another copy box he had. I had to go back all the way up to last year. What's a Morrell? Because the way people are talking about this fight, they're like saying it as if Morrell's gonna outpunch Benavidez, and I just don't see that being that easy. Yeah, this better be the best count he'd have had because, man, I can't find none. Man, yeah, this better be the best one he'd have had because I didn't like that last performance as far as the punches he was throwing. I can't get any results for it. Man, I can't get no copy box for that one. Yeah, I tried to find another one from Morrell, but what's up, Outer Pal? Yeah, he better come up show up with this one because him getting out jabbed, he did as far as landed, he was more accurate, but it's gonna be a tough one, man. As far as total jabs, then look, total jabs, 52, 48. Oh, it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a war. But like I said though, this man he got out jabbed, man. That mean Morrell's gonna have to go in there, leave his chest and chin open, focus on the hooks on David Benavidez, and hope that he catch him with a good shot, which he can do. He can put Benavidez down, but that is a long shot though. You talking about a guy who throwing a Benavidez got one of the best jabs in the game, in boxing, period. I like the body work from Morrell, but he's not head hunting. That's what I do like about Morrell. He's not head hunting. I definitely like that. As far as the jabs, he's not jabbing to the body a lot. So let me tell you something. If he go in there with Benavidez, let's just say Benavidez is soft to the body, it ain't gonna matter because he ain't going to the body like that. 13 body shots landed, that ain't good. Now the total punches, the hooks and everything. Now that means Morrell gonna be dropping his punches. His hand's gonna be around his waist, and he's just gonna be standing there in front of Benavidez. That's gonna leave him open. I don't want to see him throwing a whole bunch of hooks. Yeah, I can't wait for this fight, man. I ain't gonna lie, Morrell catch him on the button, he'll get him up out. Morrell got to throw something down the middle though. Boom. You know how like Munguia got caught by Canelo? Morrell can do something like that. I can definitely see Morrell doing something like that. He can catch Benavidez on the button coming in. Boom. He gonna have to catch Benavidez coming in though and use his momentum. Appreciate it, PD. What's up, Tonio? Shout out to Antonio, Outer Pal, Mimic. What's up with y'all? He said I give Morrell benefit of doubt being as though he came up to yeah. Oh, of course, bro. After this fight, I'm gonna be the biggest Morrell fan. I might not pick him, but you'll watch. You'll see. You'll see. You gonna be like, man, you a fan. You a fanboy or something. Nah, he just a guy. He a dog. Nobody want to fight him. Appreciate that, man. Everybody hit the like button, man. Shout out to my dog PD coming through. Yeah, I'm gonna give y'all a good breakdown of this. It's gonna be something. You know, I gotta start doing something for y'all. I don't be bickering. I know everybody think I be arguing and everything on here. That ain't how I really be. Yeah, actually, bro, what people don't know is my favorite style is Mexican, Cuban. It's Mexican, Cuban, then it's Argentinian, and then it's Australian. Those are my favorite styles. But Cuban is like, for like the last 10 years, been my favorite style. I just don't, to be honest with you, I don't know. I'm kind of like on the edge with things. Like, cause I was close to picking Munguia against Canelo, but I feel like I'm in that same situation because if y'all remember how Munguia was, he was putting hands on Canelo. But I don't know if those guys don't be jabbing like that. I just don't like these guys don't be jabbing. Morrell got too much talent to not be jabbing. Him getting outpunched by getting out jabbed by Hot Rod, I don't like that. But Hot Rod is a good fighter though. Hot Rod is a good fighter. So Morrell probably got like three fights worth of experience in that one fight. Benavidez is used to fighting guys, not like Vozick. He ain't like, you know, I think him and Vozick sparred before or something like that. I want to say. I think him and Vozick sparred before. So Benavidez, yeah, he got a lot of experience out that situation, but I would say now looking at it now, being truthful, I'll probably say Morrell got more experience out that last fight when I really think about it. If I go back and think about it really. I don't know who his sparring partners is, though. That's a good thing that PD brought up. I don't know who his sparring partners is. Yeah, Hot Rod was but Hot Rod came to fight though. Not to say he never comes to fight, but he came to fight. You know what I'm saying? Whatever check he got, he wanted another one. He had came to fight, so it's kind of hard to break that fight down because you know he's such a defensive guy and he's not really strictly just offense. But for him to outpunch Morrell maybe Morrell got some experience in the last couple of rounds. But one thing, if you look at Hot Rod, man, look at those power punches. 50%, 50, 35, 46. Morrell cannot be getting hit like that. But Morrell was doing a good job in the 8th round, though. 33, 41%, 31. Yeah, I like when Morrell, I think around the 10th round, that's when Morrell's used to like the fight ending. Hasn't had that many 12-round fights that actually went 12 rounds. So him doing 10 rounds, that's probably normal as far as sparring and whatever. So when he got to 11th, 12th round, you can see it start to slip a little bit. I just don't like him focusing on those power punches. If he can mix it up with the jab on Benavidez, he's good. Because, you know, Caleb Plant was doing that well. I felt like Andre was throwing a little bit too many, he was throwing too many hooks. The hooks he was throwing at Benavidez, they were effective. But when Andre was moving, boom, 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 like Tommy said earlier, just stick and move. That's what Morrell needs to do. He needs to do what Andre did the first 3 or 4 rounds. Stick and move. Boom, boom, boom. Stick and move. Stick and move. And then when Benavidez gets close around the fourth to fifth round, go to the body. Boom, go to the body. Cause we seen Benavidez body, no disrespect, but he probably soft to the body. And let me see if I can find Benavidez's. Cause I'm pretty sure his coffee box looks pretty weird that last fight. He said he was injured. They got one for Andre and they got one for Vozic. Let me go to the one with Andre real quick. I'm gonna do both for Benavidez since they got both of these up here. I'm gonna do the Andre one first. I can't believe Hot Rod out jab Morrell the whole fight though. Let me look at that again. My eyes gotta be playing tricks on me. Dang, he threw more jabs than Morrell. And he landed more. I didn't expect that. I did feel like Morrell wasn't jabbing a lot, so that's why I was kind of critical of him. But he was trying to get Hot Rod up out of there though. He said Benavidez got dropped in sparring. Benavidez got dropped in the fight before. Shoot, I seen Benavidez get dropped in the fight before. But then I seen Benavidez beat the crap out of guys worse than I ever seen guys get beat up. When he was fighting Andre Durrell, I was like, oh my God. When he fought Jalen Love, I was like, man. You know what I'm saying? I seen Benavidez beat the crap out of some guys. Like, man, this dude he's ridiculous. And look how many punches Andre had to throw in the fourth round. He had to throw 60 punches. And then look what Benavidez came back with, 80 punches in the sixth round. Jeez. Do y'all see that? That man threw 80 punches. Look at his work rate going up. I told y'all he a slow starter. 35, 39, 50, 50, 82, 80. That is ridiculous. People don't understand. I'm telling y'all, I've been watching Benavidez a long time. This dude's slow starter. But look at them numbers though. 35. He went from 35 to 80. That's why I said Morrell gonna have to get them punches up. You gotta get them up. Now the jabs in that fight was trash. he said they had Jose on the card live. They building the fight up, man. You know the Cubans gonna have to ride with them. You know the Cuban fighters got to ride with them. Shoot, we needed them Cuban fans. I want them Cuban fans to go out there and I wanted them to try to get Lara in the ring with Janovic or something. I thought Janovic and Lara would have been a good fight. Lara been looking good lately. Yeah, he was that last fight, yeah. It wasn't impressive. It definitely wasn't. I wasn't impressed by both of those last fights. I didn't expect much though, going into it, to be honest with you. I'm not even gonna lie. I wasn't expecting much out of both of them. Not even gonna lie to you. Wouldn't even lie. Yeah, he is gonna try to. He's not gonna try to outpunch him. Yeah, they both was. But this Andre, if you see the jabs he was throwing against Andre, look at that. He was only throwing one jab. Benavidez was throwing them power punches. But him and Andre were throwing a lot of big shots though. Let me pull up that other one that this is a good one to actually pull up, but let me look at that Vozic one. That'll tell me a lot more. You said Benavidez getting KO'd? I mean, possibly. He could possibly get KO'd. Now, if Canelo was in the ring with Morrell, would you say the same thing? That's all I want to know. Hey, how about this? If Morrell wins, would Canelo ever fight him? Would y'all call for Canelo to fight him? You said they cried after Robeisy lost? Yeah. I like Robeisy. I like Robeisy. Shoot, if I was a Cuban fan, I'd be trying to get revenge back for Lara against Canelo. That's where the energy should really be at. If anybody should have got a rematch, it should have been Lara. Now, this is the last fight. Because if Morrell wins the next fight, if he beats Benavidez, they ain't finna call for him to fight Canelo or nothing like that. Even though they probably saying, well, he gonna fight Crawford. Still ain't gonna ask for it. Yeah, Volcic was actually throwing more punches, but Benavidez was landing more. This is a weird combo box right here. Then he slowed down. Benavidez slowed down. His percentage was high. And that's weird. Benavidez's percentage was high. But his numbers was lower. His percentage was high though. That's a high percentage too. Yeah, I'm trying to see Lara back at, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't know what people be thinking about, but Lara should have been fought Canelo again. Man, what? He said at the Berlanga, I mean at the Munguia. Yeah, I ain't like seeing Munguia get knocked out. I was talking trash because everybody was trolling me all these months. But yeah, I ain't like seeing Munguia get knocked out like that. No. Munguia a dog though. He don't really worry about them. He didn't even blame the referee, so. Yeah, I didn't like Munguia losing or Robeisy though. And I like Espinoza, but I ain't like seeing Robeisy get knocked out like that. Man, that was terrible. Yeah, I like the percentages from Benavidez though. He looked like Steph Curry on the percentage. And Volcic came to fight that last fight. He couldn't land nothing though. You know what's crazy? Benavidez, he's not known as a defensive guy, but Volcic couldn't land much on him. Not like how Benavidez was landing. Yeah, I don't know how much the injury affected Benavidez's last fight. You could tell he pressed the gas. See, Benavidez presses the gas around the 4th and 5th round. That's when the fight between him and Morrell is gonna get interesting. Because usually around the 4th and 5th round, but I'm gonna tell you, around the 8th and 9th round, that's where Benavidez is gonna have to dig deep because his good rounds for Benavidez is 4 and 5. Good rounds for Morrell is 8 and 9. So if he was able to get a stop or like drop Benavidez, it'll probably be between the 8th and 9th round. Possibly 7, that's a little too early. I would say around the 8th and 9th round. I don't like these jab numbers from Benavidez though. He said he was injured the last fight, but I still don't like these jabs. I like the accuracy of the percentage. Volcic, he wasn't hitting anything. Oh, I got Benavidez all day. But I got Benavidez all day. This is probably the only fight I won't pick Morrell in, bro. People gotta realize Benavidez is, and I've been watching Benavidez almost 10 years, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's hard to pick against a guy like him. He ain't gave me a reason not to pick against. I picked against him against Andre, and I was like, man, you know, Andre did good the first couple of rounds, but can't stand in front of that guy. And they was training him to go out there and power punch. And you know this too. Hey, PD, doesn't Ronnie Shields train the guy Katz? Kat Zerkis, who just fought Brandon Adams. I don't want to see Morrell go out there and fight like that, man. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't want to see Morrell be super aggressive. And we got to remember, Benavidez is a guy who throws 6 uppercuts in the same time. Yeah, this going to be epic. This fight card going to be loaded. That Pacheco fight going to be good, and this Morrell and Benavidez fight is going to be good. That whole fight card going to be good. I think Pitbull got a decent fight on there. Yeah, I think Benavidez got, Cruz got a, and then you have Stephen Fulton and Figueroa that I'm going to talk about a lot more over the next couple of weeks. Benavidez definitely didn't lean on the power punches that much. I like his accuracy. He didn't really throw that much in these fights, though. Like, you seen, and I'm going to tell y'all the truth, though. He said, Vozek. Man, Vozek came to fight, man. I'm telling you, Vozek came to fight. Vozek gonna be Hot Rod right now. That guy Hot Rod that Morrell just fought, he'll beat Hot Rod. Vozek got no ball. Vozek a good fighter. He the better fighter out of those two. You said he a granddaddy? Bro, any Ukrainian who 37, 36 years old is not a granddaddy. That's like calling Usyk a granddaddy right now. Benavidez went out there and beat one of the best Ukrainian fighters ever. Yeah, Vozek one of the best Ukrainian fighters to ever do it. Only thing that happened to him was he got stopped by Benavidez in the 10th round. That's because he was actually trying to win the fight. No, you good. No, I already know, you good. You know, all of us like that. No, you good. No, but I'm saying Vozek was like, shoot, I seen Vozek Vozek almost killed somebody, man. For real. Vozek almost killed a guy. He almost killed one of my favorite fighters. Shoot, he put my favorite fighter in the hospital. Shoot, I ain't like Vozek for a while. Still don't kind of like him a little bit. Shoot, I thought Vozek was on something. He said, you all out there picking Andre. You know what's crazy too, PD? You know the worst part about it, PD? I had videos where everybody was like, yeah, Andre gonna win. I'm on the video talking about some, man, I don't feel good, comfortable picking Benavidez. I'm like, picking against Benavidez. I ain't never did that before. I had to like talk myself into it. It was terrible, bro. It was terrible. I don't regret it because Andre started off fast. But when it looked like it looked like somebody was choking him in the 6th round, he was breathing so hard. I was like, oh my God. If he would have took that fight 4 or 5 years earlier, it would have looked different. But man, he caught Benavidez at the wrong time. Oh, he did? I ain't know that. Who was that he did? Hey, what's the best fight you seen Morrell in? I need to look up one of his fights. What's the best fight you seen Morrell fight in? Jay, what's the best fight you seen Morrell in? I need to try to look it up. He did a lot of good things against Lennox Allen. I like that fight he had. Because he wasn't that big. He's not as big as he is now. Morrell's still getting bigger too, man. Don't be surprised. Morrell might be like Zerto in a couple of years. This dude almost 30. He's still getting bigger. Oh, that was the best fight? I need to go back and look at that. Jarvis Nelly. I need to go back and look at that fight. I watched it, but I ain't really focused in on that fight. I'm so mad they made Morrell leave 68. I mean, he's good at 75. I like some matchups he could have had at 68, though. I really wanted to see him fight Berlanga or somebody. Oh, from Kazakhstan? Ooh. Man. Ooh. Yeah, I gotta go back and see that. Yeah, because I don't know. Morrell, he got some experience, man, in this fight. From that last fight. So he gonna be ready. Yeah, he is. He's physically gifted. And he's athletic. He's probably one of the most athletic boxers we got right now. But he don't really use it because most of the guys he fighting, you kind of see it when he's chasing guys down. And one thing I've seen from Morrell, he knows when to lean back. You know, let these guys throw a right hook. He'll lean back and let those guys punch air. Like, he's not going to just stand there in front of the guy without moving his upper body. I like the way he moves his torso. He'll lean all the way back and dodge these punches. What I don't like about but the bad thing about Benavidez, though, he'll throw 3 hooks. He'll throw 3 jabs. Then he'll throw a left hook, then an uppercut. So Morrell's going to have to duck down and turn corners and go to the other corner. He's going to have to move. I want to see Morrell throw more uppercuts, too, though. I want to see him throw more uppercuts. But I think Benavidez is going to have more of a chance on the uppercut. But yeah, I think Morrell has to jab a lot more, though. I think just make Benavidez reset, make him go to that high guard. Because Benavidez, he don't like getting punched in the face. You know, nobody like getting punched in the face. So he'll go to that high guard and walk forward. You know, when guys be punching him, he be like, come on, come on. Go back to that high guard. He be like, come on. So if Morrell could just turn, throw a hook, boom, put him on the chin, he'll be good. He just got to turn angles. Turn a little bit, turn. Kind of like what Vozit was doing. And I think Morrell can do what Vozit's doing, what Vozit did. I think Morrell can do what Vozit did. These punches that Vozit was throwing, what? 8 jabs, 5 jabs, 3 jabs. Yeah, Morrell can do that. Morrell can throw these jabs. I don't think the jab's gonna be an issue. Damn, Vozit threw 300. Hey, Vozit threw 300 jabs, man. This dude Vozit threw almost 700, basically 700 punches against Benavidez. 700. Jesus. Y'all see this? Dude threw 700 punches. Dang. He threw 700 punches, man. Dang, Benavidez fought a guy who threw 700 punches. That's insane. It was a 12-round KO, if I can remember. The dude took a lot of punches, but that's why he put him. Oh. I probably did see it. I don't remember what happened to the guy after he got dropped. I did see most of the fights Morrell had. I gotta go back and check. Yeah, that footwork gonna play a huge part. That footwork gonna play a huge part. I think that footwork's gonna play a huge part. Hey, do you think that Morrell left 68 just because Iglesias is at 68? Since Iglesias is at 68, Morrell was like, I'll just go to 75 then, because Iglesias is like top 4 right now. Top 5. I think he ranked like number 4 in the WBC right now. Yeah, he was a cruiserweight. He was huge. Vozit, huge, man. Votes are bigger than Benavidez. I ain't know that. Man, that dude bigger than Benavidez, man. Votes a big. He's a big guy. He almost like a slim Zerto, like what Zerto is at cruiserweight right now. He's like 5 pounds away. I ain't gonna say 5 because Zerto big right now, cruiserweight. Zerto is so big. This dude went from light heavyweight to cruiserweight. And they were still like, man, Zerto is huge. You think Iglesias punch harder than Morrell? I don't want to compare those two right now, but you think he a harder puncher than Morrell? I don't know if he a harder puncher. I think he jabs better, throw better do he throw better combinations? Nah, he got a better hook and a jab. I don't think he throw better combinations. You see, I got Nelson working Pacheco. You know what's crazy, bro? Pacheco one of my favorite fighters, dog. I got Nelson right now, but I don't want to pick against Pacheco though. I ain't gonna lie to you. The only reason I think Pacheco might have a little bit of issues is because that guy who I seen him fight McCallman. I don't know if I got a prediction on my channel, but McCallman, when Pacheco's finna fight McCallman, for some reason I kept looking at this guy McCallman. I'm like, man, he is a good fighter. I was like, this guy McCallman is gonna cause a lot of issues for Pacheco. Man, he went in there and caused some issues for Pacheco. And Pacheco, he got better after that fight, but he still caused a lot of issues. That was on the Hitchens and Lamo's card. Yeah, I had did a prediction right here. I don't know what I said on there. I'm gonna have to go back and look. But the McCallman, he did a good job. He said, I'm not sure, but I'd like to see both Benavidez. He said they actually fought in the amateurs and Iglesias beat him. Yeah, I seen that. I seen that. I don't like to throw no low blows, so I had forgot about it. I didn't really take it that serious. Even though I think the amateurs matter a lot more than people realize. I didn't really want to use that against Morrell, like, oh, he lost to Iglesias, he a bum. Nah, I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna do that. I think that was just a style matchup thing. Iglesias is a tall guy too. He's like what, 6'3", 6'4"? He said, I'm not sure, but I'd like to see both Benavidez and Morrell fight Benavidez and Bivol. Me too. I would like to see that. I would like to see that happen. And it's a good chance that Benavidez, he can possibly fight both guys, because Benavidez is he's not trying to go to cruiserweight, and he's not trying to go to light heavyweight. He already at light heavyweight. He's not trying to go to cruiserweight. He's not trying to fight Usyk. Oh, you did? Oh, PD said he remember Lennox Allen used to be in the gym in Brooklyn when Hitchens and Lil B Hot were teenagers. Oh, that what's up. So you was around them. Yeah, man, I'm trying to see what New York got some talent, man. I'm trying to see what New York gonna do, man, over these next couple of decades. You know the BK, the Bronx, man, all those places ain't the same as it used to be. A lot of people move and stuff, so it's not the same type of fighters that's out there like in the 90s and 2000s. PD, ain't no Zab Judas coming out of there. Hitch is the best thing that came out of there recently. A couple of other guys too. Lil B Hop's still a good fighter. Matter of fact, the guy Andy Cruz is fighting on this Pacheco and Nelson card next Saturday. Not this Saturday coming up, but next Saturday. That's the guy that Lil B Hop lost to on the Pro Box card when he ended up quitting the fight. He only had 2 rounds to go. Yeah, I seen that. Hey, I seen that. I'm high on Iglesias. I'm very high on Iglesias. Iglesias, I like Iglesias. I'm very high on Iglesias. Iglesias gonna be one of those guys that gonna put up a shut up. I like Iglesias. He gonna end up having to run Berlanga up out of there. Berlanga gonna have to make some moves soon. That 168 getting the series. He said Marcelo. Yeah, I seen that name before. Yeah, and Iglesias got a nice little resume too. Oh, my bad, Truth. I had missed what you said. He said it's a style thing. McCollum is a pure fighter. That's why he gave Pacheco problems, because Pacheco is a boxer puncher. Yeah, he is. McCollum is a very good fighter. I didn't realize until I ran the fight back, but they were saying that he had been sparring Triple G and somebody else. I don't think it was Canelo. It was a big name like that. It was Triple G and somebody else. I was like, dang, McCollum been fighting all those guys? He said, I'm not sure, but I like to see both. Yeah, I already seen that. He said, be nice. They all fight each other. Morrell going to 175. That makes that division stacked. Yeah, 175 is stacked. That is a stacked division. No question about it. 175 is stacked. I don't care who lose or win. I just want to see those fights. I think those 4 Hall of Fame talent. Me too. Me too. I'm telling you, once Morrell goes through this little gauntlet, whoever he fights, whether it's Bivol, Bitterbill, Benavidez, whoever he wins against and beats, it's still gonna be a bad look on Canelo. I know a lot of people thinking, well, if Benavidez lose, it's gonna be a bad look. Benavidez could lose to Morrell and still beat everybody else. Gallegos, yeah, put him in a hot rod. Put Gallegos in there with a hot rod. That's a good fight. I like that fight. I like Gallegos and hot rod. That's a good fight. I've been actually trying to figure out who can match up with him. That's a good fight. I can't believe Pacheco got him out of there so fast. But yeah, you're right though, Truth. He's a boxer puncher. Pacheco is. McCollum is a pure boxer. And it was a couple of times I seen McCollum when he could have threw a faster jab and catch Pacheco, but his speed wasn't there. I don't know if that was an age thing or his speed wasn't there though. If his speed would have been there a little bit faster, he would have caused some problems. I think they gave McCollum like 3 of the first 5 rounds. So I knew he was going to be a problem, but that goes to show that Pacheco fights anybody. I respect people like that. That makes me a fan for life. When I see you 23 years old, your resume is looking like this, you fighting guys that's undefeated that nobody else wants to fight. That's 2 guys that Pacheco done fought in the last 12 months that nobody wants to fight. Nobody want to fight Steven Nelson and nobody want to fight McCollum. So a lot of these young guys like Morrell and Benavidez and Pacheco, win or lose, they're going to be a threat in the future, especially at 168. Especially at 168 for Pacheco. Yeah, he did look heavy, didn't he? He looked super heavy. He was gassed out a little bit. He looked gassed that last round. The last like 2 or 3 rounds, he looked gassed. But Pacheco, that speed on them hooks, man. He got some fast hand speed. His hand speed is fast. For a tall guy that's like 6'4", Pacheco hand speed is ridiculous. It don't take a long time for the hook to come around. Like for him to be that tall and his arms to be that long, his hook was coming around a lot faster than McCollum's was when it got to like the 9th round. And I think that's going to be a huge issue for Steven Nelson. Steven Nelson, he got a power jab and he can go to the body a lot. I think his jab is going to be able to do a lot more I think McCollum got away from the jab a lot. He started to counter punch. Instead of him sticking to the jab, he started to counter punch. And if you see Pacheco, once he started realizing that, he like, oh, okay, I could just beat you to the spot before you do it. Yeah, McCollum gave away a lot of rounds trying to go punch for punch with Pacheco. He went away from the original strategy. But yeah, that's a good fight. Gallegos. But man, this dude Vosic threw 700 punches against Benavidez. Didn't know that. I knew it was a lot of punches getting thrown in that fight. 700 at 175. That's some flyweight type of stuff. That's what guys at 108 be doing. 700 punches. Yeah, that guy's ridiculous. It's just that percentage was not high. Benavidez landed 42. That's a good percentage, man. Those jabs was very low. They didn't do a lot of body shots. Yeah, Benavidez, he wasn't going to the body a lot. I would like to see him go to the body a lot more. He did land half of his body shots, almost half. Really, it's like 40% of his total punches with body shots landed. But the power punch is what really set him apart. But Vosic, he threw 388. It's a lot of punches. But yeah, Benavidez landed a lot of body shots. But I think Morrell, as far as the body shots, if he can get a lot of body shots on Benavidez, he'll be able to slow him down and hurt him. But that's a big if. That's a lot of body shots, though. Yeah, this is going to be a good fight, man. When you look at these stats, it's not really that separate, especially after the last performance they had. I know they look bad after the last guys they fought, but they put together some good things. Let me see something else. Let me see what stat they have up here. All right, I see what you just sent right there, Truth. Let me see. I'm gonna pull up this last stat and I'm gonna look at this box red. Says Benavidez landed 19 of 43 punches per round to 14 of 58 for Vosic. Benavidez landed 24 of 63 per round in his previous 10 fights. Benavidez had an edge, had a 107-57 edge in punches landed 1 through 5, then just 166 to 106 over the last 7. Yeah, he slowed down a little bit. He slowed down. He must have been 100. He said he wasn't 100%, but he usually don't say that. That's the only reason I'm getting the benefit of the doubt, but he usually don't say that. Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Yeah, I'm pulling it up now. Let me see. Let me pull up this right quick. Oh yeah, this will be a good one too. Oh yeah, this guy's a problem. That'll be somebody like Berlanga should fight. He ain't got an opponent yet. And that'll be a good guy for Berlanga to fight right now. But yeah, yeah, that'll be a good opponent for Berlanga, Truth. I might put that up. I might put that up there later after we get off of here. I might do a video on that guy. But yeah, I like the percentages as far as Vozick. Yeah, and Lester Martinez, he fights a week after Benavidez and Morrell. So is he gonna have a crash course with Pacheco, or is he gonna go straight to like an Iglesias fight? Because Iglesias, I think he's currently ranked over him in WBC. So will he go straight to like an Iglesias, or will he? I think Pacheco's not, unless he loses. That wouldn't be a fight that he would entertain at this point right now, especially when he's like 1 or 2 fights away from possibly fighting Canelo. So that's definitely something he probably wouldn't entertain right now. But depends on what his next fight is going to be. Yeah, man, Berlanga got to do something, man. The way Munguia had those last 2 fights, that's what we want in boxing. See, Munguia, by the time he get back in the ring, everybody forget about that knockout he had. But Berlanga, he needs to get in the ring ASAP. I mean, as soon as possible. Because if he knows like I know, it's some guys at 168 that's not leaving 168 anytime soon. And they're a lot taller. These guys at 168, they walking around at 6'5", 6'6", 6'3", 6'4". These guys all got knockout power. They got a very good jab, power jab. They got speed on their hooks. Yeah, Berlanga's going to have some trouble. A lot of those guys are very tall, have a lot of power. He would definitely struggle against Iglesias or Pacheco right now. So he has to figure it out ASAP. Then Lester Martinez is a hard fight for him. After what I seen. Yeah, Lester Martinez is going to be a very tough fight for him. Yeah, that dude's a dog, man. That was wild. And he put the dude under the ropes. Man, you see how Munguia knocked the guy down the first 2 rounds? I was like, man, it looked like he punched. When Munguia punched him, it looked like he rolled under the bed or something. He looked like he rolled under the bed, man. The way he went under the ropes. He almost fell out of the ring. He got up, started throwing a whole bunch of hard shots. I said, hey, man, Munguia, he don't need to let this guy recover. The first thing that popped up in my mind when Bruno got up from getting dropped by Munguia, I said, Munguia has to understand this guy came all the way from France to fight him. He's going to try to knock Munguia out if Munguia is too aggressive. It was crazy. I said it on the live, and then Munguia tried to get this guy in the phone booth. It's crazy. If you go back and listen to the live I had with Bruno and Munguia, man, I seen that knockout coming from a mile away. Like ever since like the 4th round. Yeah, he said he was blocking with his face. Hey, somebody said recently he got 5 knockouts now. They say he got 5 knockouts now. It's not 4, it's 5. Yeah, you seen him? I was tripped. I couldn't find a picture of him. Man, Berlanga looked huge recently. He looked huge. I was like, what? But the next time I seen him, he looked skinny though. I was like, he didn't look skinny, but he didn't look as fat as he did. I don't know if it was when he was in Puerto Rico or before that, but he had looked fatter. Not like out of shape fat. Well, he was out of shape, but not like, like he just haven't seen him since Hitchens fought. And he's supposed to fight, they said in 2 months. Haven't heard no announcements. Everybody right now is announcing fights for March. Now they're starting to announce fights for April. So maybe I would say in 2 weeks, probably 3 weeks, around the time that Benavidez is fighting, or or Lester Martinez, early February. We should be hearing a fight from Berlanga. I would say late April, before Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, I saw it. He had chubby cheeks. I said, anybody see this? I said, I never seen Berlanga look this big. I just seen him recently, like a month ago. Like in, what was it? October, November. I was like, yeah, he doesn't look that fat. But then after that, I was like, yeah, he looks fat, bro. Yeah, it's noticeable too. Yeah, it was subtle. It kind of like, you can barely tell a little bit if you're not really familiar looking at him. But you can tell. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, a lot of these boxers do it. That's why, man, when you look at guys like Pacquiao and Floyd, even Canelo right now, Canelo looks like he in fighting shape right now. The same way Canelo looks when he goes way in, he looks like that right now. That's why a lot of these fighters, they don't understand. Canelo, he stays in the gym. He looks like that right now. He's skinny. He's in shape. He's lean. Yeah, Canelo looks like that right now. Like he's ready to go way in. That's why a lot of these guys can't beat him. They can't go the distance with Canelo. Canelo is used to stopping guys, but they can't even go the distance because he's in such great shape. And he's walking around in shape all year. So instead of him trying to get in shape all the time, and trust me, you a whole different fighter or whatever you're in as far as combat. When you're always in shape or you're on weight, all you got to do is go in there and work on things. But when you're always out of shape and overweight, you just basically working out so you can lose the weight. That's what happened to Adrian Broner last year. They said that, how did the training go? When they asked Tank's team that was working with Adrian Broner, they said, how did the training go with Adrian Broner? They said, man, we was trying to lose weight the whole time. All we did was cut weight. We didn't really work on nothing. That was up. I need to get me a jump rope. I ain't jump rope in a minute. I'm good at jump rope, but I ain't jump rope in a minute. I need to get me a jump rope. Dang, man. PD just gave me an idea. I need to get me a jump rope. I ain't jump rope in a minute. I need to get me a jump rope, man. Jump rope keep you in shape. Yeah, I need to get me one. I used to watch them boxing movies, man, like Rocky and whatever. I'm like, man, them dudes. Then when you see the real boxers jump roping, you like, nah, it can't be that hard. Then PD, you from New York. New York known for having elite jump ropers. Double Dutch, Kings, all that. But yeah, Benavidez, I don't know, man. This is kind of hard to tell. I'm gonna be honest with you. This is hard to break down. I like his percentage, but his jabs and everything is not. That man only landed one jab in the 4th round. I don't like that. He did land 22 power punches, though, at 57%. So if you're landing 57% of your power punches, yeah, it's okay to land one jab. Not a good look. I'm gonna be honest. Definitely not a good look. But if you landed, you landed. Let's not be picky now. 57% is good. So if you're landing, absolutely, that'll work. But man, I ain't know Volcic threw 600 punches. By the 6th round, he threw 300 punches. 100, 200. Yeah, 300 by the time he got to the 6th round. This is gonna be a very good fight. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, shout out to the little PD out there too, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. It's gonna be a good year, man. I'm talking about these fights when Pacheco. Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea, PD. When these fights start, with Pacheco next week, it is going to be so many fights coming on. So I don't know if everybody knows this, but Inoue is fighting next Friday. This is the first time that Inoue has fought on Friday since I've been watching him. I've never seen him fight on Friday. So not this Friday coming up, but on the 24th, I will be live on here. So I'll let y'all know. I'll be on live on here early. But Inoue gonna fight on the 24th. It's gonna be in the morning, so I don't know if a lot of y'all gonna watch that. Friday morning. I don't know if everybody gonna get up and watch Inoue Friday morning. But he's gonna fight next Friday, and then the next day, Pacheco is gonna be fighting. We got Andy Cruz on that same card. So by next week, it should be Boston's gonna be basically on his way. And then Benavidez the next week. And once February comes, bro, it's over with. February is so loaded. February is loaded. When they added that Pro Box fight, Pro Box, I don't know why they're doing fights on Saturday now. Do y'all like that? That Pro Box doing fights on Saturday now? I don't like that. I don't know if they have a fight coming on February 8th. Like a big card. I don't know if somebody else is fighting on February 8th. I'll have to see. But I know Lester Martinez and Joson James is fighting. That fight was supposed to happen in like October. I don't like Pro Box doing fights on Saturday now. I don't know what's that about. Yeah, you see his arms? Yeah, I noticed that on the picture. You seen that? Morrell got longer arms. My bad. I got to remember, man. Everybody can't speak English, so I gotta put this up here. But you see his arms though? Yeah, I noticed that Morrell's arms is pretty long. And around Morrell's shoulders, man. He's like, I don't know, man. He seems like he's bigger as far as around his shoulders. Not much of a difference between him and Benavidez and him and Vozick. Yeah, I know. I kind of don't like Morrell having longer reach because that'll leave him open a little bit. You know, maybe Benavidez likes guys who have a longer reach, so he'll be able to punch faster. Boom, you know. Benavidez got some fast hands. Even Morrell was saying it, bro. Like when they was arguing today, he was like, "You simple. All you do is do." I'm like, yeah, you know, you got them fast hands though. I ain't like Morrell saying that. That was almost like a compliment. I'm like, whoa. I know your English ain't good, but hold on now. Don't tell him he got fast hands. You tripping. Oh yeah, me too. He said I'm old. I don't like these late fights, man. They get around 1 a.m. I start getting sleepy. Yeah, you're right. He said, I'm old now, yeah. Hey, when you get old like this, once it get to about 12 p.m., 12 a.m., I'm ready to go to bed. Yeah, I don't like those 1 a.m. fights. They getting out of hand with that. Yeah, I like Saturday morning, afternoon fights. Yeah, I don't mind those. Turkey Al Sheik kind of got me, because you got the whole day to yourself after those fights. Turkey Al Sheik, I don't know, man. He got me liking those fights a little bit, those afternoon fights. I like when the UK does it too. Yeah, I like when they do the Saturday fights. He said we got to see what Benavidez gonna land with Morrell footwork. I know. Benavidez chasing him. I don't know if it's gonna be a fast chase. Mimic laughing. Said I'm old. I like them afternoon fights. He right though. He's right. You can take your afternoon nap right after the fight go off. As soon as the fight go off, you just sleep right where you're at. Yeah, they don't know about them old man afternoon naps yet. See, a lot of these people think when you get gray hair and stuff, you start sleeping during the day. But nah. As soon as you start getting a beard, that's when you gonna start sleeping during the day. Yeah, he counters good. That's what I think he's gonna have an advantage with Benavidez. Benavidez punches so much that Morrell's gonna be able to slip some punches through there. And like I said, he can catch him on the chin, man. This is probably the most. Is Morrell the most powerful guy that Benavidez has been in the ring with? I would say yes. The most athletic at this stage of his career, yeah. I would say yeah. Hold on, let me think. Is Caleb Plant more athletic? Is Caleb Plant more athletic? He is as far as his footwork a little bit. As far as the footwork, but I would say like from the waist up, as far as like anticipating the punch and moving a little bit and dodging them, as far as I would say Morrell is a little bit. I would give him the edge as far as that. But yeah, I would definitely say Benavidez, this is the most powerful puncher that he's been in the ring with. So he can't just go in there and throw in big punches and walking this guy down. And I don't like that he didn't throw a lot of jabs against Volcic. Maybe it was the injury. But one jab, that was crazy. But he did throw 57. I mean, it landed 57%. But yeah, the reach is crazy. I noticed that before when I made this picture, I was looking at the reach. I'm like, Morrell has some long arms. Has some round shoulders too. He's not a small guy. Definitely not a small guy. Morrell's upper body might be bigger than Benavidez's fight night. I know Benavidez's lower body is going to be bigger, but as far as the upper body, that might play a huge factor. I think Morrell is technically stronger. So it's going to be hard for Benavidez to break these clinches. If I was Morrell, I would actually tire Benavidez out by clinching and holding and grabbing. He doesn't like that. Breaking his up, making him reset over and over and over. I would at least clinch him like 3 times around. Forget all that. We winning by any means necessary. Clinch him 3 times around. If I was coaching Morrell, I would like clinch him after every minute. You better be clinching him. Because if you see Benavidez when he was fighting Caleb Plant, he couldn't really get out of those clinches. You know, I seen him punching a couple of times while Caleb Plant was clinching, but Caleb Plant's not as strong as Morrell physically. So Morrell can grab him and just, you know, he can rough Benavidez up. If we want to take it a step further, he can rough him up. Yeah, Andre, he didn't even fight, use his footwork. He was trying to stand toe to toe. When I heard his trainer say he said, we're training to knock Benavidez out. I'm like, that was a horrible game plan to train to try to knock Benavidez out when you're coming up from 54. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Jay. Like, come on, man. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. And then to stand in front of him at 68, nah. You can't stand in front of him at 68. You see how scared everybody was after Benavidez fought Andre? Everybody was like, he's too big. They were scared, man. They got to realize Andre is a 54. They're like, yeah, he's too big. He's definitely too big. I think Munguia might be bigger than Andre. I don't know. I'm not sure. I see Munguia like working out. You see how big Munguia was standing next to Canelo. He's a big guy. He looks small because he's younger. You know, he got that clean shaved face. But Munguia's a big guy though. I seen him before. He looked huge when he was working out, not cutting weight. Yeah, that Lemieux situation, I didn't like that. It was another Lemieux. You right. You right, Jay. It was another Lemieux situation. But that fight helped Morrell, and it helped Munguia is huge, man. I seen how big I thought Munguia was smaller than Berlanga. Not really. He's not really smaller than him. He just looks like that because he doesn't have like huge muscles. But Munguia, he's a big guy. Very big. He definitely bigger than Charlo. That guy he fought, Bruno, he's a 160. The guy he got knocked out by, he's a 160. He fought him at 68, but he's really a 160. That was the weird part about that fight. Dude was a 160 pounder. But as far as this Steven Nelson fight, I want to talk about this a little bit more. So Steven Nelson, he's a guy who's been training with Terrence Crawford since they were kids. You know what I'm saying? He went to the military, got out of the military, told Terrence Crawford, he wanted to box. Went away for a little bit, came back, turned pro. He's been a sparring partner for years. So Terrence Crawford has been sparring at 168 for like 10 years. Well, really since he's been a kid, but been sparring this guy for like 10 years. Steven Nelson was telling stories about Terrence Crawford before he fought Earl Spence. He was talking about how Terrence Crawford used to knock out guys who was like 300 pounds, 6'3", 300 pounds, big guys. They said Terrence Crawford was known as a guy who used to run around the streets and knock guys out. So this is a guy who is going to be prepared when he gets in the ring with Pacheco. I don't know as far as the speed and the power, but technical and the jab and the combinations, yeah. But Pacheco's smart though. He's actually currently training and sparring with Carlos Adames right now. And Carlos Adames has the same type of frame. I mean, these guys going to work, man. They doing everything they can right now. Pacheco got the best. He got the best sparring partner he can get right now. Pacheco, he has the best sparring partner he can get. Him sparring Carlos Adames is a great idea. Whoever came up with that was perfect. Because Carlos Adames is fighting a guy who's the same size as Pacheco. Hamzat Shiraz. He's the same size as Pacheco. So this is gonna be a hard fight, man. These are real 50-50 fights. It's gonna be a hard fight to pick. This whole year it's gonna be either way. Yeah, and also, Canelo's he's gonna have some challenges too. Because the level of competition Canelo is fighting right now, I don't know if it's gonna prepare him for what's to come. I don't know if Berlanga and Munguia is preparing Canelo for as he's getting older. I don't know if that's preparing him right now. Because even against Pacheco, I felt like going into the year, Pacheco he'll be a tougher fight than most of those guys he fought last year. It depends, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. It really depends how guys fight Canelo. How Crawford goes in there and fight Canelo. But I don't think, the way people talking about Madrimov though, I'm telling you, Madrimov is, once Madrimov fights Virgil Ortiz, we're going to hear a lot of people bragging about Madrimov. Right now, people talking about Madrimov like he's a bum. Madrimov beat Alaces and Glaces in the amateurs at 165. So Madrimov been fighting good competition. He said, I don't think Benavidez that good. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't think Benavidez that good. Benavidez has fought no one at 160. Benavidez probably he's probably the least challenged 160 I've ever seen as far as a two-time, not two-time, but two-belt champion. Benavidez has 2 belts, and he hasn't fought nobody worth talking about at 160. I don't think Benavidez gonna be around long. I like Hamza Shiraz more than I like Benavidez. Yeah, people gonna once Madrimov goes in there with Virgil Ortiz, trust me, I'm gonna win a lot of money in February. Oh my God, I'm gonna win a lot of money in February. I leave my feelings at the door when it comes to betting. Trust me, I'm gonna win so much money in February. Madrimov is a guy who used to fight at 165. Virgil Ortiz is a 54 that just got to 54. So I think it's a lot more stuff going on right now to the point where people feel like, I hope Madrimov doesn't look good, but you gotta think about it. Look how good Errol Spence looked against everybody he fought, and then look how he looked against Terrence Crawford. So that means Terrence Crawford is levels above everybody. And then you gotta realize Terrence Crawford was out 13 months when he fought Madrimov. So the man had a 13-month layoff and went in there and fought one of the biggest guys at 154. And I know a lot of people say, well, Baccarat, we don't even know if Baccarat's better than Madrimov right now. And Madrimov has more experience at 165 in the amateurs than Madrimov has fought better competition. He's beat better fighters than Morrell has. People don't even understand that. Madrimov has beat better competition than Morrell has in the amateurs. People say that's just the amateurs. Bro, that's how guys get to the pros. You gotta be a good amateur to get to the pros. But he's fought better competition in the amateurs than Morrell has. The man went out there and beat Iglesias like it was nothing. And you know what he said? Oh, I can actually make 154. Let me go down to 154 and make that weight class. He's not killing himself to make 154. He just never was cutting weight before. Madrimov's not a big guy. I seen him standing next to, well, he's a big guy as far as his muscles. As far as his muscles and everything, yeah, he's a big guy. But as far as his height and size and width, no, he's not a big guy. So for Iglesias to really get manhandled like that by a guy who's a smaller guy, that shows you how good he is. But people understand that. People understand. Trust me, I've seen people see a guy lose, and every time somebody loses a fight, people always say he's gonna lose the next fight. That happens all the time. That's the reason why boxing is so good. Look at Tim Tszyu. People might not know this. Tim Tszyu is one of my favorite fighters, but I guess what? I picked him to lose against Fundora. And this is after Fundora got knocked out. Fundora got knocked out cold against Brian Mendoza. And guess what? I picked Fundora to get knocked out against Brian Mendoza. So boxing works out that way. Everybody ain't gonna be undefeated. And a loss will make you better. He said, I would like it gets the monkey off your back. Like, I'm not undefeated no more. I ain't got to worry about it. I can just go out there and fight now. The way you see Fundora fighting now, he just going out there fighting. Him getting knocked out did wonders for him. I was like, yeah, he said if it can't be a champ. He said, I don't think he can win at 68. Yeah, I know people feel like that. But you know who can't? But you know what's crazy? Every boxer right now feels like Terrence Crawford can win at 68. Every boxer right now. They feel like he can win at 168. Yeah, every boxer right now feels like Terrence Crawford can be a threat at 168. Look how big Terrence Crawford is next to Andre Ward. People acting like Terrence Crawford's a small guy. Terrence Crawford's not a small man. I don't know where this idea of him being small is coming from, but where's the other picture I had? But he's not a small guy. Is there another picture I got on here? See if I got one more on here that I'm looking for. Yeah, look how big Terrence Crawford is. People think Terrence Crawford is a small man. Yeah, M. Billy is about the same size as Terrence Crawford. M. Billy ain't. I thought M. Billy was big. Hey, Jay, I thought M. Billy was big until I seen him recently. I was like, M. Billy ain't that big. It's just the muscles make him look bigger. But look at Floyd, the same Floyd that beat Canelo. And people say, well, Canelo, he was at 47. Canelo weighed 168 when he got in the ring with Floyd. He was weighing 168. The only thing Canelo is doing right now, he's fighting at just walking around weight. Basically. Once Canelo retires, he's not going to be a fat slob where he just got fat under his neck and everything else. He's going to be the same size. If you look at Canelo's dad, he's the same size as Canelo is. It's about the size Canelo going to be at. But we talking about Andre Ward who's not even active right now. So Andre Ward has to be like 200 pounds. And this is the same Andre Ward that Canelo said was too big. This is the same Andre Ward that Triple G said he didn't want to move up to fight him. He didn't want to move up 15 pounds to fight him. He said Morrell KO'd him in sparring in France. I think it was. Ooh. He KO'd him in sparring in Billy? Yeah, I ain't know that either. But look at how big he is though. And look at it. This is the guy who beat Floyd. This is the guy who beat Canelo now. Floyd right there. Look how tall Floyd is. Look how big he is. Look how big Andre Ward is. Look at his arms, chest. And look how big Terrence Crawford is. Terrence Crawford beat the brakes off these dudes in the street, man. He will beat the brakes off these dudes in the street. Straight up. Y'all will see soon if Terrence Crawford cross paths with Tank Davis. Y'all gonna be like, man, that's a heavyweight fighting Tank Davis. Why he swinging on Tank for? You seen how big Terrence Crawford was when he was standing in front of Teofimo Lopez? He'll beat the brakes off one of these dudes in the street. He ain't no small guy. And Andre Ward is a guy who's 200 pounds. So when people say size, that's just something people want to say. I could say right now Canelo too small for 68. The fact that Canelo is shorter than all these guys right here, or about the same height, well, Canelo's shorter than these guys. He's about the same height as Floyd. The fact that Canelo's about the same height as Floyd and nobody said that Canelo is too small for 175 or 168, they know what time it is. They know what time it is. They know what time it is. If Canelo goes in there, jumps in the ring with Floyd, with Crawford, you're going to see a lot of people stop reporting boxing after that. I'm telling y'all right now. It's going to be a lot of people. I'm going to tell y'all something else right now too. And this is not something I feel like this. I'm guaranteeing it's going to happen. You've already seen people not really wanting to cover boxing no more. But he jumps in there with him playing around with Crawford like, oh yeah, you just a small guy, you know. Okay. Okay. You said Canelo just ain't cutting weight no more. Canelo's at a level right now. Why would I cut weight? Canelo was already fighting at 168 against Floyd. He weighed 168 against Floyd. So the only thing Canelo is doing, he's not going around spending all week trying to lose weight, trying to make 160. He like, I'm fighting at 68. You know, because nobody asked Canelo, hey, if Benavidez is too small. Let me tell you how spoiled Canelo is in the boxing game right now. Canelo went to David Morrell's weight class. He only has 10 fights. David Morrell became the mandatory. And Canelo like, nah, you and Benavidez too small. I mean, too big. Y'all need to go to another weight class. So when it comes to Canelo, I don't show a lot of respect to him these days. This man made Benavidez and Morrell go to another weight class because he want to sit up here and not cut weight. And he don't want to fight the guys that's in his same weight class. It ain't my fault you too small for 168. Get out of there. That's like Terrence Crawford going to 154 right now and saying, nah, I'm only going to fight Fundora and Tim Tszyu. I'm not fighting Majramal, Bakaram. I'm only going to fight Fundora and I'm only fighting Tim Tszyu because the other guys, they too big. What everybody would have said if Crawford would have went to 154 and said, nah, I'm only fighting Charlo, Tim Tszyu, or Fundora. Majramov, he used to fight at 165. Nah, I ain't fighting him. This dude, Bakaram, he like 6'1". He taller than everybody. He's bigger. Bakaram about the same size as Andre Ward. He like, nah. Shoot, do y'all see how big Bakaram is? Bakaram's bigger than Canelo. Bro, I had a dude on my wrestling team when I was in college. I had a dude that was on my wrestling team. The dude was 6'3". He was bigger than the guy who was at the cruiserweight weight class. We had a guy who was 200 pounds, a specimen, one of the biggest 200-pound guys in the country. The guy we had that was at 157, he was bigger than the guy that was at 200 pounds. We used to always say to the guy, how are you making 157? You're bigger than everybody on the team, and you're only 157. That's when I started realizing, oh, size don't really matter like that. Everybody's weight is different. It's a lot of guys who got big torsos, skinny legs. It's a lot of guys who got skinny legs, skinny torso. It's a lot of guys who got big legs, skinny torso. It's a lot of guys who got big head, big jaw, big neck. Like Canelo. Look at Canelo's size. We have guys, Canelo's like one of the smallest guys at his weight class. But look at how big he is when he's just standing there with his muscles. But that's the same Canelo that was at 47, 54. People acting like Canelo going to 68 has made him a different specimen. It's just these guys that's at those weight classes he's fighting. The talent just ain't like what people expect, or it's not like they think. But if Canelo was a bad guy like everybody's saying he is, at 168, he would have fought Benavidez. So you don't want to fight a guy who's bigger, and you don't want to fight a guy who's smaller, so who do you want to fight? You ain't fighting Morrell. You made him move out of 168. You ain't fighting Benavidez, so who you gonna fight? You just fought Charlo. Does anybody think Charlo better than Crawford? No. People know that people know Crawford's a threat. You know Crawford's a threat. Why would you not want Crawford to go out there and get knocked out by Canelo? That don't even make any sense to me. I've never heard that before. People just love Crawford so much, you don't want to see him get knocked out by Canelo? Nah. They know. Come on, man. Let's be real. I've been watching boxing way too long. Come on now. Y'all think I wanted Canelo to go up to 160 and fight Triple G? No. I felt like he was moving up too much weight then. I didn't want Canelo to move up to 160. And guess what? Canelo has some stuff in his system. And you don't see nobody running around saying, well, man, he was only at 68 because he had something in his system. I could be saying that. Because Canelo did fail a PED test when he fought Triple G. So he needed something extra just to fight at that weight class. So if you ain't gonna fight Benavidez and Morrell, don't tell me about who big and too small. I mean, who too small. You ain't trying to fight. I ain't want you to fight Charlo. John Ryder, you think John Ryder will go out there and beat Crawford? No. Munguia? No. People know that Crawford is a threat. People know that Crawford is a threat. That's why I said Madrimov against Virgil Ortiz. We'll see. Oh, that's what's up. Man, you did that quick. People know that Crawford a threat. Why would somebody not want Canelo to knock out Terrence Crawford? Don't nobody in the boxing world, I haven't seen not no fans. If people love Terrence Crawford that much, every time I do a Terrence Crawford video, I would have 1,000 likes or something. Nobody loves Terrence Crawford to the point where they like, oh, please don't get knocked out by Canelo. Nah. Look how big he is in this picture. Andre Ward, 200 pounds right now. Look at Floyd. Floyd, the same size he was when he was fighting Canelo. And guess what Canelo told Andre Ward? You too big. What Triple G told Andre Ward? You too big. They didn't want to move up 15 pounds. Charlo moved up 15 pounds. So the fact that Charlo could move up 15 pounds, go 12 rounds with Canelo, and the fact that Triple G or Canelo didn't want to do that with Andre Ward, they didn't believe in themselves. And after we seen the Dimitri Bivol fight, you see why Canelo didn't believe in himself. Because Dimitri Bivol is not Andre Ward. So if you're gonna move a 168 out of the division, if Canelo feel like he ain't big enough for 168, he don't need to be in 168. I mean, the man is the most spoiled boxer I've ever seen who got blown out in 2 fights. You said you had to see. I'm just telling you, Crawford ain't no Munguia. Crawford to beat the brakes off Munguia right now. Munguia just got knocked out by a guy with 4 knockouts who fights at 160. Munguia just got knocked out by a 160 with 4 knockouts who fighting at 168 for a couple of fights because Munguia offered him a nice payday. He just got knocked out by 160. Canelo is not knocking guys out like that. And a good chin ain't gonna do nothing against Terrence Crawford. You still gonna get beat up. I just seen Jose Benavidez Jr. go out there and go 10 or 12 rounds with Jamal Charlo. Jamal Charlo was almost 168. He weighed like 164 or something like that. Jamal Charlo is a bigger guy than Canelo naturally. And look, and who the only person who can knock out Jose Benavidez Jr.? Terrence Crawford. Charlo couldn't even knock him out. Couldn't hurt him, couldn't do nothing. So when everybody feels like, oh, well, these guys, you think Bakaram can't move up to 168 or 160? Bakaram said he finna go up to 160 soon. Let's see how long Benavidez stay at 160 when Bakaram goes up there. The guy who just knocked out Tim Tszyu, he said he could fight at 160. He said, I'm gonna go up to 160 because I can still fight these same guys from 154. He ain't gonna do it now, but he's gonna do it eventually. You think Benavidez gonna sit there and be like, yeah, I'll fight you? Nah, because he's bigger than Benavidez. We got guys at 54 right now that's bigger than Benavidez and possibly got more power. The same guys that Benavidez going the distance with and that's knocking out, that's the same guys that Bakaram can go out there and fight. We've seen it time and time again. Canelo did it at 47. Everybody didn't know Canelo was going to go to from 47 to 75. That's how good Floyd was. Floyd beat Canelo so bad that people didn't even think that Canelo was going to be able to go up. Oh, all right, PD. I'm holler at you, dog. But look at the size of this guy. This ain't, and you know, I ain't trying to make nobody convince nobody. I'm just throwing the facts out there. The guys that Terrence Crawford stopped have never been stopped before. Earl Spence has never been stopped before. Sean Porter has never been stopped before. Jose Benavidez has never been stopped before. And guess what? The first guy to stop Munguia was not Canelo. Canelo did not stop Berlanga. Canelo could not stop John Ryder. Guess who stopped John Ryder? Who was the first? Hey, tell me something. Canelo fought John Ryder in Mexico, but guess who was the first person to stop John Ryder? So right now, when people tell me that Crawford ain't good enough, you telling me that John Ryder's an all-time great or something. Yeah, I know that Jose said that. Absolutely. Yeah. Jose Benavidez Jr. is one of my favorite fighters. I'm not talking about lately. I'm talking about before he fought Crawford. Jose Benavidez is such a soldier. He got shot in the leg, allegedly, before he fought Terrence Crawford. So when y'all see Jose Benavidez Jr., he can't move around like that. He dragging his leg and stuff. But people making it seem like Crawford can't go out there and do what John Ryder did. John Ryder? Canelo couldn't knock out John Ryder. He couldn't knock out Charlo. Y'all think Charlo better than Crawford? He should have proved it. Crawford was begging Charlo to fight him. He wanted to fight Charlo before he fought Earl Spence. This would have settled everything. If Charlo would have fought Crawford when I was asking everybody, hey, Charlo need to fight Crawford right now. Oh man, he too small for 154. He too small. Y'all said, the people said he was too, they said Crawford was too small for 47. They said he was too small for 54. I mean, if Manny Pacquiao would have grew up in this era, Manny Pacquiao still be at 135 right now. He would have never fought Marquez. He would have never fought Morrell all them times. He would have never fought Cotto's and the Mosleys and Bradleys and Mayweathers. Oh, Pacquiao would have never did that in this era. That's why people ain't asking Inoue to move up right now. They don't believe in him. Don't nobody believe in Inoue enough. Inoue is the same height as Pacquiao. Ain't nobody on Canelo's resume in the last 6-7 fights that you think that Crawford will get washed by. Crawford, he'll probably knock out somebody that Canelo didn't knock out. John Ryder, you know what John Ryder's at right now? He's retired. Munguia retired him. How about this? I'm gonna give y'all a better point. The same year that Munguia knocked out John Ryder, that's the same year that Munguia fought Canelo, and that's the same year that Munguia went out there and got knocked out by 160 with 4 knockouts. People know that Crawford is a threat. Don't nobody love Crawford to the point where they like, man, I don't want to see Crawford get knocked out by Canelo. That's too much weight. I've never heard that before. Guess what? I said that Kell Brook was too small for Triple G. Nobody cared about that. And guess what happened? Kell Brook got his eye broken. He got the orbital bone broken. Got a skull broken. Matter of fact, because Triple G fought Kell Brook career was over after that. Yeah, he fought Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford, but his career was over. And guess what happened when he fought Earl Spence? He got his eye broken again because he wasn't fully healed. He was fighting a guy who walked around at 75, 180. So when everybody says too much weight, they should have said that when Kell Brook fought Triple G and when Amir Khan fought Canelo. That's too much. You see how skinny Amir Khan is? Why was he even in the ring with Canelo? And he was outboxing Canelo. He just ain't got no chin. Everybody know Amir Khan ain't got no chin. And I'll say I'll say another thing too. Amir Khan got knocked out the same round that Canelo knocked out Amir Khan the same round that Crawford did. This man fought America. Look how skinny American is. Disgusting. Nasty work. American is super skinny. Oh, man, look at this picture. This is horrible. But no, I understand what y'all saying, but let him get knocked out. Terrence Crawford want to get knocked out, let him get knocked out. That's my only thing about it. I ain't never heard nobody trying to save a boxer so much. Let him get knocked out. Anybody who say, I don't want to see that, man. You know how many fights I ain't want to see Canelo fight? No, nobody asked Canelo any confirmation update on the fight happening or no. It's going to happen. Canelo ain't got no choice. He can't fight nobody else. It's going to happen in September. Canelo ain't got no choice. He ain't got no choice. Canelo has no choice. It's the end of the road for him. Too many guys at 168. He technically shouldn't have any belts right now. The only reason Canelo has the belts at 168 right now, and the reason why everybody let him run Morrell and Benavidez out of the division is because we don't have a lot of star power in boxing, because they're only focused on a couple of fighters getting fights. They'll let Canelo and these other guys choose certain fights, but if you're a Terrence Crawford, you got to fight whoever you get. You know what I'm saying? They basically just slide the plate under the door, and whatever you get, you eat. Yeah, I don't know if he fighting Skull in May. Maybe he prepares for the September fight. I don't know. It's not a guarantee you fight William Skull right now. It depends on, I don't know what platform he'll fight on with William Skull. I don't know if PBC will be willing to put on a William Skull versus Canelo. I know right now Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to do Haney versus Garcia in May around Cinco de Mayo. I know more Turkey Al-Sheikh trying to do that a little bit more than the William Skull thing. And to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you something else too. I don't think they're trying to let Canelo fight William Skull before he fights Crawford. Possibly so he could be 2-time undisputed. I mean, Canelo really has, you gotta understand. Yeah, Crawford, he don't have to fight Canelo. He's still gonna be a 2-time undisputed. And Canelo's gonna be 1-time undisputed. Yeah, he can fight William Skull and be 2-time undisputed, but it's gonna be the weakest 2-time undisputed ever. All he did was drop the belt and pick it back up. That's weak. I seen William Skull fight recently. Crawford will beat the brakes out of William Skull, and he'll stop him. But look how skinny American is. Why was Canelo even in the ring with this guy? All right, man, I'm gonna holler at you, man. Appreciate that, dog. Be safe tomorrow, man. I'm probably be on in the morning, man. Be safe tomorrow. Shout out to the fam, everybody. But he should have never. Look how skinny American is. Yeah, good night, man. Have a good night, PD. Look how skinny American is, though. It's like, nah. Just at this point, let Crawford get knocked out. He want to get knocked out. If people feel like, put some money on it. If you think Crawford will get knocked out, go make some money. It ain't like we seen Canelo knock anybody else out. We have never asked. Canelo hasn't been fighting anybody we asked him to fight lately. You know what I'm saying? Let him get knocked out. I'm telling y'all, this is from the heart. When Canelo fought American, I wanted to throw up. I stopped being a fan. A real big fan. Look how skinny this guy's arms is, man. I don't think people understand this. Look how skinny this man's arms is. I got a cousin who he can't do a push-up right now, and his arms look just like this. We're talking about too small? Nah, people know that he a threat. I know that people are Canelo fans out here and everything else. It's cool. I mean, I'm a fan of Canelo too. But I'm not finna lie for him to the point where act like the guys he been fighting, they finna get knocked out themselves. Eventually, if Berlanga don't pick it up, he gonna be somebody else who's gonna get wiped out. He like, man, I gotta fight Trevor McCumbee or this guy or that guy. See, the other fighters I know, they gotta fight tough fights after they lose. The real fighters, they fight tough guys after they lose. Look at Earl Spence. He just lost, right? What does everybody say? I want to see Earl Spence in a tough fight. I want to see him fight Fundora or somebody. That's what he's gonna do. So I see guys coming off losses taking tougher fights than what Canelo doing. And I told people months ago, people thought I was hating because I said Munguia wasn't ready. Oh, y'all just want to put fights off. I'm like, nah, I don't want to put the fight off. I don't want to put the fight off. Munguia needs 2 more fights before he get in the ring with Canelo. 2 or 3 more fights. And then Freddie Roach was like, nah, Munguia needs 2 or 3 more fights. I'm like, yeah, he's kind of right about that. But yeah, man, but I understand what y'all saying as far as the size, but let him get knocked out, man. Make some money. If he gets knocked out, bet on the knockout. But they don't want to do it though, because they know he a threat. But even if Canelo don't fight, I'm gonna tell y'all this. If Canelo don't fight Crawford, is he gonna knock out Iglesias? Is he gonna beat Olaces Iglesias? Is he gonna beat Benavidez? Is he gonna beat Morrell? Is he gonna beat Diego Pacheco? Is he gonna beat? I heard people talking about Benavidez. Well, he needs to go to 160 then. Why is Canelo at 168 fighting 160 to 54s? Nah, he don't need that. Just let him get knocked out at 68, bro. Like I said, Junior, just let him get knocked out at 68, bro. Amir Khan ain't need no tune-up. Amir Khan ain't need no tune. Look how skinny Amir Khan is. He should have never been in the ring with Canelo. Look how skinny he is. Look at those arms. This is the skinniest guy Canelo has ever fought. And matter of fact, and then look what Terrence Crawford did to Amir Khan. Got him up out of there. Same round as Canelo. And another thing too, Amir Khan wasn't beating up Crawford like he was doing Canelo. Amir Khan was beating Canelo up. Canelo just got him because it was a knockout. But Terrence Crawford ain't got no chin like Amir Khan. I'm telling you, y'all gonna see over the next couple of months. You're gonna see over the next couple of months. A lot of these guys talking about size and everything, they're gonna be the same one trying to fight a smaller guy in a minute. Because the division gonna get too hard. If Canelo don't fight Crawford at 68, he should have fought David Morrell. Nobody told me is David Morrell too big too? I never heard Canelo. So Canelo come to 168 and say that's like Terrence Crawford going to 168 right now. And they like, hey, since you at 168, you need to fight Benavidez. Benavidez too big. Morrell too big. Nah, I ain't fighting them. That's what Canelo's doing. He gets to choose who's too big and who's too small. That's a made-up career at this point. That's not a real boxing career. That's why a lot of people not really asking him to fight anybody right now. Nobody. If he don't fight Crawford, who y'all want to see him fight? You know, I've been asking that question for 3 months, and nobody said who they want. I heard somebody say Benavidez. He's a 160. Let Benavidez go to 160. Let Canelo go to 160 then. Everybody he's naming is 160 and 154. He's not trying to fight Dimitri Bivol again. Everybody said, well, he knocked out Kovalev. That was an old Kovalev. Trust me, if that was the Kovalev, that was a young Kovalev, he wouldn't have been in there like that. Kovalev in his prime is a better. Kovalev in his prime is a better fighter than Bivol in his prime. A lot more dangerous. We all know this. even at this age right now, people saying Canelo's slowing down. If Canelo is slowing down, he needs to fight Crawford. He really does. And a lot of people saying, well, the Terrence Crawford fans saying this. Mexican fans were the first people I ever heard ask Canelo to fight Terrence Crawford was Mexican fans in Mexico. They was on television in Mexico. I don't know if people know this, so I'm gonna put this out there right now so everybody know this. The first people that asked for Crawford to fight Canelo was Mexican fans in Mexico. They were on television asking Canelo, are you gonna fight Crawford? They were like, we really want to see Crawford, but we'll take the Benavidez fight too. And I was like, hold up. Terrence Crawford just fought Earl Spence and they want Terrence Crawford to fight Canelo. That's where the fight came from. It came from Mexico. The rumors of Canelo fighting Crawford came from Mexico. Mexico was the first people to ask Canelo to fight Crawford. That's where the rumors came from. Nobody in America was asking that question. So when people say that Crawford's too big or too small or whatever, that's what the Mexican fans are asking Canelo to do. It's a whole story behind that, but I don't think a lot of people would care about that at this point. But Mexican fans in Mexico, where Canelo is from, they said, we want you to fight either Crawford or Benavidez. If Canelo goes home to Mexico without fighting Crawford or Benavidez, they are not going to respect the move he's going to make next. They already don't respect the Munguia and Berlanga move. They want him to fight him next. This is his people asking him to do that. This is not me. This is not Americans. This is not Terrence Crawford fans. This ain't ESPN. This ain't YouTubers. Mexico. If y'all can Google it and look up some kind of sporting outlets in Mexico from 2023, 2024, you'll see that they were the first ones to ask Canelo about Terrence Crawford. And that's what Canelo got on television last year and said, I'm fighting an American next. And I said in my comment section, I said, technically, Munguia is American. I mean, Mexico is part of North America, so technically Munguia is American, right? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, no way he's gonna fight him and call him American, right? I think that's Munguia though. Munguia is technically American if you want to use the definition, and he fought Munguia next. So when everybody says all this, these are not fans in America asking Canelo to fight Munguia. These are people from Mexico that have been asking him that. Canelo got so mad at a guy who was asking him that from Mexico, a guy who was like a sports host or something, that he kicked the guy. Man, I heard that the guy was banned from coming from Canelo's fight or something like that. Then they said Canelo ain't do it. But how the guy get banned though after he asked that question on television? And him asking the question on television, they didn't like it. That's why last year, if you look this up, Canelo made all the fights free. The Munguia fight and Berlanga fight was free in Mexico last year. You remember when Canelo came out and said, I got a big announcement? When they were talking about him either fighting Crawford, Benavidez for Cinco de Mayo, when he came out like a couple of weeks before he announced the Munguia fight, he said, I got a big announcement. And then he turned around and he announced that, hey, my next 2 fights are going to be free in Mexico. He told all the Mexican fans in Mexico, hey, they wanted to make you pay for the fights, but I'm making the pay-per-view fights free down here for y'all so y'all can see them. You know why he told them that? Because he knew that they weren't interested in watching anybody else except Benavidez or Crawford. This is where the rumors came from. I know it's a lot of YouTube channels out here, but for some reason, they do not know this. They don't do their research. I guess they don't know what goes on worldwide, but those are the first people that asked Canelo to fight Crawford. I didn't even know that Crawford was that popular in Mexico to the point where they were either asking him. And guess what? That means Mexican boxing fans. They say Mexican boxing fans are the best fans in the world, right? Now, for some reason, Mexican fans believe that Crawford is a tougher fight for Canelo than people that's actually living in America. Think about that. He said, I seen Canelo say recently saying he might fight Bivol if he beats Benavidez. That was last year. That was last year. Yeah, that was last year. He said that like July, August or something like that. Yeah, that was like 6 months ago. If somebody posted that, that was old news. Yeah, I had posted that like 6 months ago. That was old. That was old. Canelo missed the train on that. Bivol said he doesn't even want to fight Canelo no more. Bivol asked Canelo to fight at 168, and Canelo was like, Benavidez doesn't even want to fight Canelo. Yeah, I announced that like in July or something like that. That's super old. They talking about a trilogy right now if Bivol wins. But nah, he ain't gonna fight that because whoever wins the Benavidez and Morrell fight, that's who's gonna fight Benavidez next. But yeah, Turkey Al-Sheikh, he's doing all those fights with Bivol and Benavidez. So if Canelo's not planning on working with Turkey Al-Sheikh and doing whatever he wants to do right now, not saying the Turkey Al-Sheikh gonna be like, you got to do this, but if he's not open to working with Turkey Al-Sheikh, taking those type of fights, he's not going to be involved with Benavidez and Bivol. Right now, I'm looking more so at Morrell. Like I said, I made a live a couple of weeks ago. Canelo got replaced by Morrell and Benavidez. All the stuff we asked Canelo to do, he ain't got to do it, so we're going to get Morrell to do it. That's it. I got Benavidez in a rematch. I got him in a rematch. I think Bivol might win, but I got Benavidez. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but something telling me Bivol gonna go out there and do something different. He gonna punch a lot more. But I got Benavidez. I think Benavidez can get him up out of there. Cause you gotta realize Benavidez ain't getting treated like the champion right now. It's like the same thing that happened with Usyk. He's not getting. He's not the favorite still for some reason. So a lot of people not really looking at Benavidez as the winner. He knows that. Trust me, Benavidez knows that. Every time somebody, even Bivol got recently when they said, how did you feel about the scoring of the last fight? He like, man, I'm not worried about that. He's like, I can't do nothing about that. He was like, I lost. He's like, what are you talking about? So Dimitri Bivol don't feel like he won the last fight, but and I understand what everybody's saying as far as the Crawford thing. You know, it's his size and everything like that. I understand that. But if I'm trying to help Canelo out, because if he don't fight Crawford, he gonna fight Iglesias or somebody. I don't know if Billy gonna make it to a Canelo fight. So that's kind of off the table. So once Pacheco, by the time Pacheco gets to Canelo, he's gonna be a threat. If Pacheco keeps fighting the type of guys he's fighting right now, Canelo better not step in the ring with him. And I'm not saying that because I think Canelo's a bum or he's trash, he fell off. It's just Pacheco's fighting different competition right now. He's fighting guys that's making them better. Canelo's fighting guys who can be sparring partners. Yeah, he ain't got that knee injury no more. He said that too. When he said, I'm gonna tell, hey Mimi, you know what's crazy? I'm glad you said that. When he said that, I was like, I said, dang, you did have a knee injury. I'm like, you did have a knee injury. That's crazy. He had a knee injury. He came back faster than Tyson Fury did. Because he got the knee injury in what, May? I want to say it was May. He was supposed to fight in June. He got the knee injury in May. And then he came back in October. He was already ready to go. And he fought with a knee injury. People don't realize that. So he's going to be fresh. He couldn't sit on his punches like he usually does. He didn't jab that much. He was getting out jabbed in the fight against Dimitri Bivol. It's a classic fight though. I love the matchup. I like Dimitri Bivol. I like all these guys. I'm not really this is not a year of boxing where I'm actually be proud to pick a side. I don't even want to pick this Benavidez and Morrell fight, to be honest with you. I don't really care who wins. Whoever loses, I'm gonna still say somebody should fight him. It's not like I'm gonna be it's just like if when Canelo lost to Dimitri Bivol. I'm not gonna be upset. I'm not gonna be sitting up here laughing at Canelo he lose to Crawford. Definitely not that type of guy. Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be laughing if he loses to Crawford. Canelo, if he does everything like this as far as putting these fights together, these last year or two that he's boxing, he gonna change this era of boxing. He gonna bring it back. He can change boxing right now. But a lot of people forget that though. Like, maybe I should make a video about that. But Mexico was the ones who brought up the Canelo Crawford thing. Crawford wasn't really arrogant to the point where he said he wanted to fight. Canelo was the first one to say he wanted to fight Crawford first. He said Crawford's a great fighter. I like to fight him. First he said he's a great fighter. He liked watching him. And then they asked him during Charlo fight, would he fight him? He was like, absolutely. He's a good fighter. And then later on, I heard Mexican fans talking about, I want to see Crawford. I was like, what? Crawford against Canelo? I'm like, no. I said, Crawford said he's too big. And Crawford said, nah, Canelo's too big, man. That's why when people say, Canelo's too big, I'm like, you're actually saying what Crawford said. You're actually saying what Crawford said. Canelo didn't say it first. Crawford was saying it first. He's like, nah, that dude's too big, man. I'm not fighting him. And this was last year when Crawford said it. He's like, no, I'm not fighting him. Then he thought about it. He was like, I would like to fight him, I guess, at this point. See how good I am. And it kind of turned into that. But if Triple G was a little younger, that definitely would have been a good fight for Crawford to take. But I think 160 with Janovic, I don't know, man. Janovic he got some tough fights at 160. And I don't know if he's gonna be there long. That's kind of where I'm thinking. I could have seen Canelo fighting Janovic, I guess. But Janovic's not moving up. If he would have moved up, that would have worked. But he's not moving up, which doesn't make sense because he had missed weight the other time. I know the man can't make weight that good. I know he can't. And then his promoter came out and said something I usually say about, guys losing weight in different times of the year, like in the sun, and it kind of affected Janovic. So it kind of makes sense a little bit, but I mean, this year we're gonna see the fights. Turkey Al-Sheikh gonna start announcing fights that it's gonna be different. Just like with Benavidez right now, as far as the size. I know a lot of people want to see Benavidez fight Usyk, but people saying that guys are too small, and Benavidez is kind of saying the same thing. So those kind of matchups aren't going to happen because the fans don't believe that these fighters are good enough to jump in the ring with certain people, and they're gonna miss out on some good matchups doing that. Honestly. You're going to miss out on some very good matchups. That's just like me saying that Canelo should have never fought Kovalev. I didn't really push back on the Canelo and Kovalev fight because I believe that Canelo could get him up out of there. I didn't push back on Triple G. I didn't like it because I felt like Canelo was going out his way to make the fight and Triple G wasn't going out of his way to make any other fights. I just wanted Triple G to do the same thing that Canelo did. So Canelo's already done things similar to what Crawford has done as far as moving up, going out of his way to go up 2 weight classes to fight a guy. Everything like that. He's done it plenty of times. So we'll see in the future. But if Morrell goes out there and fights a guy like Bivol and beats him, then if Canelo wants to come up to 75, he'll have to fight Morrell. Morrell can easily go. What if Morrell goes out there and beats Benavidez and then beats Benavidez? Is Canelo gonna fight him then because he has all the belts? That'll be a shortcut, but it wouldn't make a lot of sense not to fight him the first time and then fight him this time. So he's being very careful right now. And he also has other people that's helping him pick fights as well. He's not just solely picking his own fights. I've heard something about that recently. And that is true. I've heard Eddie Reynoso say that he be picking his man fights. Eddie Reynoso be picking these fights. As well as other people, but you know, he's like a manager promoter. Kind of like what Panda was from Matias and Zepeda. Even though Panda is a trainer for Zepeda, he still is a guy that says, hey man, we don't need to fight this guy right now. And Zepeda like, okay. Zepeda was ready to fight Shakur Stevenson. That's why I laid off Zepeda. I'm telling you, I'm not a hater. If I know the truth about something, I'm gonna lay off. Zepeda was willing to fight Shakur Stevenson, but his team didn't feel like he was ready. So they said, nah, let's just lay off a little bit. And even though Shakur Stevenson was injured, so the fight couldn't happen. But they was like, let's lay off real quick. We ain't gonna fight him. So I was like, Zepeda was ready to fight him. So I could make a case that Canelo was doing the same thing for other fighters, but it just didn't happen. So, you know, it's very complicated. It's a lot deeper than what people think. Definitely a lot deeper than what people realize. And you know who's another guy who's not that big, I realize? He's a big guy, but he's not that big. Adamas, he's not that big as I thought he was. I don't know why. When I seen him fighting against J-Rock, he seemed like he was a big guy, but the last couple of fights, he didn't look that big. Maybe he's slimming down. He can't hold the muscle like he used to, but doesn't seem that big. And he's in there sparring at 168. Legs aren't that big. Torso. Yeah, I would have liked to see him go out and challenge some guys. If he would have fought Janovic or something, they could have easily had Canelo fight one of these guys. Because Carlos Adames and Janovic wanted to fight Canelo. But they went with Berlanga instead. But yeah, it's late, man. I ain't want to be on here too long. But I appreciate everybody for coming through. I just wanted to chop it up with you guys for a minute. I'm definitely going to do some more coverage over this fight, but I just wanted to go out there and put something down real quick so people can have something to look at and go over overall. But yeah, I know people are going to feel like Canelo's too big for Crawford. You know, possibly. I don't know everything. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. He possibly can be bigger than You say you don't think Berlanga that good? I think he has the power. The thing about Berlanga, you know what's scary about Berlanga? Mimi, you know what's scary? Berlanga was actually, the way he fought Canelo like those last couple of rounds, that's the Berlanga I've been waiting on for like the last 4 or 5 years. Not because he did that against Canelo. It's because, like he said, I didn't want to get knocked out and everything else. Even when Charlo, if you go back and look at that fight with Charlo, it's like when Charlo and Berlanga got knocked down, those guys got so much pride that they got up and was just like, that's the best round I ever seen from them. Like when they got knocked down in the round after, the round after they got knocked down, they looked like they were Benavidez or something. And Berlanga was hitting Canelo with some shots. He was hitting them with some hard shots. Canelo was getting hit with some hard shots, man. He was getting hit with some hard shots. But I think if Berlanga can really just take that with that jab was looking nice. Berlanga had a very good jab. If he can take that jab and add in what he was doing with those combinations and mixing it in, he can definitely give anybody some problems, but he ain't been active enough for me. I think Berlanga needs to be fighting like 3 or 4 times a year right now. Because like he said, he's not going the distance that much in his career. So he has less experience than most of these other guys. So he's basically cheated himself out of a lot of experience. Look at Pacheco. And I'm going to tell you something else, Mimic. Pacheco is fighting tougher guys than Berlanga has. I know Munguia fought Derevyanchenko and Berlanga, but Derevyanchenko and John Ryder, but I don't know if those guys are tougher than, down the line as far as the age that Pacheco's at right now, 23. He might be 24 by now. But I don't know if that's a tougher challenge. Yeah, he needs to start fighting, man. He just needs to get active. For him to be sitting around waiting, so what is he going to do? He's going to sit around 7 months? He can't be fighting every 7 months at the age he's at. That's disgusting. How old is Berlanga? Berlanga like 27? But yeah, he can't be fighting every 6 months though. He's not Canelo. He's definitely not Canelo. He can't fight every 6 months. He don't got the skills like that right now. He got to build himself up. They don't have any fights being announced for him right now. No rumors. Yeah, so how old is he? Yeah, he's 27. He turns 28 in May. He turns 28 in May. Yeah, he's around 20. He needs to get active quick. Because he's around the same age as Iglesias and Morrell's around the same age, but he moved up. I think Berlanga's gonna move up soon eventually. He's not gonna be at 68 next year around this time. I highly doubt it. From what I seen, the extra little fat he got, he can't keep that off next year. Going into the age of 29, he can't do it. He can't do it. Especially if you want to fight three or 4 times a year. Nah. But if these guys keep fighting like once every 7 months, I mean, okay. The fight with Canelo gonna help him with the experience, but it didn't do much for Munguia. But Munguia was fighting a lot. But at the same time, you still supposed to go in there and show up. You definitely still supposed to show up. It's gonna be a tough year for a lot of these guys. But a lot of these guys are gonna get left behind because the guys who haven't been getting chances, they're gonna start getting chances. Everybody ain't got no Canelo payday like Berlanga did. So you still got guys who's out here hungry right now. I know Pacheco is. For him to be sparring Adames, yeah. Berlanga needs to get in the gym ASAP. I don't know who he's sparring, but yeah, I'm ready for that next fight with Munguia though. I ain't gonna lie. I'm ready for that next fight. That next fight gonna have a lot of hype around it. And you know what's crazy? I wanted to watch the fight so bad, but I was tired today. I was like, man, I might not go live for this fight. Then PD was like, man, I'm ready for this Munguia fight. I was like, I am too, man. I'm gonna go ahead and watch it. I'm ready to watch this fight, to be honest with you, but cause they had Rocha fighting that night. That Munguia fight didn't start till like almost 12 o'clock. I was like, man, it take forever to start this fight. And man, I'm glad I didn't miss it. Definitely glad I didn't miss that fight. Yeah, Munguia made that Bruno guy. Hey, you know what's crazy? The dude Bruno name is Bam Bam and Brunello. The dude called himself Brunello, like Canelo. Stu had Brunello and Bam Bam on his shorts, and went out there and got a knockout in Mexico against a guy that Canelo just fought, and he's a 160. I'm not gonna lie. The only reason I don't like this rematch happening, I would like to see that Bruno guy fight at 160 at 160, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would definitely like to see him fight at 160. That's his weight class, so yeah, man. In Tijuana. The Mexican fans nice though, man. They showed up. He didn't get booed. They celebrated his win. Yeah, man, they got the best fans right now. You know, UK got some good fans too, I ain't gonna lie. And Australia. UK got some good fans. And Japan. Japan got some good fans. Australia, Philippines, Thailand, Russia. Yeah, they definitely got some good fans. Ukraine. You talking about Tim Zoo? You talking about Tim Zoo? He said something about he was gonna move up. The crazy part about it is Tim Zoo was talking like he was gonna move up this year. He was saying that last year. That's what you talking about, right? Tim Zoo was saying he wanted to move up. You said the Cuban fans? I don't know. Oh, you talking about the Cuban? Oh yeah. I don't know much about the Cuban fans that much. I know they ride or dies, but I don't know much. I don't know much. Because, you know, they don't have a lot of fights in Cuba like that. You know how that goes. You know how Cuba is right now. But yeah, Cuba got the best fans, though, as far as loyalty and everything. I was talking about, like, the fight environments. But yeah, you talking about outside or online and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, Cuba got some ride or dies right there. In every sport. Baseball, boxing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I never ran across one of them. But yeah, Cuba got some, man, they got some diehards. They just don't have the fights over there like, you know how the government and everything is. So they just started having those guys have pro fights over there recently. So, you know, things is changing a little bit. That's gonna help because, you know, Cuba has a lot of talent leaving, so they're trying to keep the talent inside Cuba. So, you know, they trying to change the laws around a little bit. Yeah, Tim Zoo was actually supposed to go to 160 this year because his little brother's at 154 right now. And with that loss that Tim Zoo had, a lot of people are trying to have Tim Zoo and his brother fighting the same type of opponents. But Tim Zoo don't want to fight the same guys his brother fighting right now. It wouldn't make a lot of sense. So he was thinking about going to 160 this year. In his mind, he would have already had a couple of belts at 54 or possibly undisputed. If he would have beat Fandora, then the other guy, Bakaram, and they probably would have had like another 1 or 2 fights this year. He would have moved up. Not looking like that right now. It's gonna be a struggle. But I seen Tim Zoo working with his dad recently. He getting back to it. He really working with him now. His dad's working with him and his brother. So whatever the team that they were working with, or whoever they have been working with, his dad, Casa Zoo, is not leaving it in their hands right now. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I didn't check them out then. I didn't check them out. Yeah, I like Cuban fighters, man. Anytime they have prospects coming around, uh Javier Herrera. I like him. I don't know if y'all heard about him, Javier Herrera. He just signed with I want to say Queensberry or somebody. I think he's a 135. I think he's out of Cuba. He one of the young guys I like right now. Yeah, I ran across another channel. I think it was like Cubano or something. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. They had a strong fan base. Morrell Goucher. Goucher is fighting. Who Goucher fighting? Goucher got a fight coming up already. It's on my channel. Who I said Goucher fighting? Who is Goucher fighting? Oh yeah, Goucher fighting Elijah Garcia. If Elijah Garcia can pull that off, then that's what. Yeah, go Goucher fighting Elijah Garcia. And I want to February 15th in 4 weeks. We're gonna be live on here. They got so many fights coming on, bro. Yeah, man, he gonna stay at 160, man. He was gonna. It looked like he was gonna be at 68. He gonna stay at 160. He got a new trainer, Bob Santos. He's working with right now. I don't know what's going on with that situation. I want to see Kyron Davis get an opportunity soon though, and Albert Bell. Bob Santos is Bob Santos is working with Morrell right now. So Bob Santos is a guy who's working with Morrell as well right now. So it's a new trainer that Elijah Garcia is working with. So man, Morrell going to work, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be hard to pick against these young guys, bro. These dudes, they really putting in a lot of work. Morrell is training, man. Yeah, I seen this guy before. Oh, he working with Danielle Perro. Okay, cool. So Bob Santos working with Danielle Perro. I ain't talked about him much, but I have covered one of his fights. Yeah, he just got an extra guy in there. Yeah, he got a head trainer and head trainer assistant. A lot of these guys split different trainers. I've seen Tank have three or four different trainers in the ring with him. Yeah, Bob Santos. Yeah, that's how my list look. I had Robert Garcia, Mark Ramsey. Did I have Don Charles on mine on my list? I wonder if I had Don Charles on. I didn't have Rudy Hernandez or Bob Santos. I think I had Bomac on mine. I had Robert Garcia on there. Yeah, he's working with Morrell too. Man, Morrell is a problem. Morrell birthday coming up too. Birthday Saturday. I wonder who Bob Santos working with. So he has Ersland and Lara and everything. He worked with a lot of Cuban fighters. What, Bob Santos Cuban? Or he just Spanish descent? Oh yeah, working with Barrios. Yeah, they got Perro right there. Yeah, Perro is prospect of the year. Yeah, that was a good pick for prospect of the year. I ain't gonna lie. You said who became a champ? Rayo. 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 All the fans who didn't pick Rayo to pick to win the fight. Talking about Robert Garcia, a good trainer, man. You know that's how they want to give credit to Rayo is through Robert Garcia because they ain't picked Rayo to win, so they want to give Robert Garcia all the credit for Rayo winning. I was trying to wonder why they kept saying Robert Garcia for trainer of the year. I was like, why they keep saying that? I was like, why they keep saying Robert Garcia trainer of the year? Yeah, I know, bro. I know. Hey, I know truth. I know. That's why I'm sitting here like, what? I know. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Trust me, I know. Way better. I would have thought it would have been more so this year for him, but I don't know. I mean, if they get him ready, shoot, maybe we can see him in the ring with a Anderson in the future. You think they don't like Ben? They probably don't. They probably don't like Ben at all. Yeah, that was a good fight. But yeah, that dude, he a good trainer though. I seen him before. I don't know every trainer. I know of him, but you know, yeah, that's a good trainer to have right there. Yeah, these guys making moves right now. They need to try to change these trainers. Yeah, he working with Ronnie Shields and Bob, I guess. Getting that stamina up. Like Bob probably helping Morrell build that stamina up. That's what it looks like. And that's exactly what he needs. Dang, man, Morrell might go out there and shock everybody. He might go out there and shock me too. I'm not gonna be shocked, but you know, you still be shocked when it happens. You know, all of us always said, you know, McGee ain't got no defense like that. But until he actually got knocked out, that's when we was like, whoa. What is going on? I didn't expect him to get knocked out. But yeah, I gotta get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody for coming through, man. I'm gonna holler at y'all tomorrow. Appreciate y'all for coming through. Everybody supporting, hitting the like button. I'm gonna try to be on in the morning, actually do my little Nah, Andy Cruz good. Andy Cruz good. Nah, he good. Andy Cruz good. Andy Cruz listens to Bozy. Shoot. Jerron Ennis, he ain't listen to Bozy his last fight. Andy Cruz listens. That's the difference. Shoot, everybody else Bozy trained with, like Jarrell Miller, he looked good his last fight. Yeah, Bozy, he all right. And everybody listened to Bozy. I know Jerron Ennis had a tough opponent in front of him the last fight, but everybody listened to Bozy though. If you look at Andy Cruz last three fights, him and Bozy was working on a lot of stuff in the ring. He listened to Bozy. He definitely does. Cause I didn't think the way Jarrell Miller lost all that weight, and then came out and beat Andrew Ruiz. Well, it was a draw, but we know he really beat Andrew Ruiz. Now I think Bozy doing a good job with him. Bozy look like he do good with those Cuban type fighters like Andy Cruz. Yeah, I think Andrew Cruz doing a good job with Bozy. We're gonna see how good he is his next fight though. When he fight that guy that Colbert fighting. I'm gonna have to talk about that too. I might talk about that tomorrow. I didn't get a chance to talk about it today, but yeah, I think I had thought about it. I was like, he don't need to probably be over there with Bozy. But nah, he's good with Bozy. He listens. He definitely listens. He knows what to do. He knows what Bozy's trying to do. You know, he got a lot of experience. We might not think about it, but you know, Andy Cruz is older than Jerron Ennis. He got a lot of experience. But that's all I got, man. Appreciate everybody for coming through. I'm gonna holler at you tomorrow, True. I'm gonna check out this guy you sent me on Boss Rec too. Might have to match him up with I forgot who I said. Shoot, bro, Langer might need to jump in the ring with him. I know they talking about McCumbee and Plant, but yeah, this guy with these 17 knockouts, yeah, that might work right there. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you guys.